Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mutembei TV. This is an open political forum where we discuss matters pertaining the current affairs and the political situation in our country. So feel free and join the discussion.
That I'm a sad man. Today, on the second day, we've been brought to Mombasa in very beautiful hotels. Hotels that are very costly, paid by the public, money from the public. Why should we enjoy this? Yet our children are languishing in abject poverty. Why should we sleep in these big beds? Eat the best food in the world? Yet our children cannot go to school. Yet our children cannot get money for bursaries. Babu Owino is a product of education. Why not for education, I would not be here. I would not go to Nairobi. I would not even be a member of parliament. Therefore, we want to give that same opportunity to our children. As a result of that, I have decided to stop the ongoing meeting. The committee meetings, I have decided to stop them. And we will not proceed with these meetings until the money is disbursed, until CDF money is given to us, until bursary money is given to us. I give a total of 50 million Kenya shillings for bursary. I want the same opportunity that I got as Babu Owino to be given to our children to access education. And personally, I will blame the president. The buck starts and stops with Ruto. Because we can't say that the judiciary, in its wisdom or lack of the same, decided to say that CDF is not enshrined in the constitution. There was legitimate expectation. The doctrine of legitimate expectation dictates that once CDF was being disbursed, then it should be a going concern, should just be disbursed to our children to go to school. Now, Biblia, the Bible says that when your cow gets into a ditch on a Sabbath day, do you leave it or do you remove it? You will have to remove it. But instructions were given by the president to the judiciary to stop the disbursement of bursaries, disbursement of CDF money to our children. So this is the real state capture of parliament. We wanted to come here and show them the real power of parliament. We have the real power in parliament. The real power to impeach the president, the real power to impeach the deputy president, the real power to impeach the whole cabinet, the real power not to agree with the decisions made by the judiciary. So we want to show them now. We are here to fight for the interest of common Mwananchi. This was the common point where all of us could have come together, because parliament is being opened on the 13th of February. That's still far. As I left Nairobi, I left the children, the students from Embakasi's constituency sleeping in my house. I was just fighting my way through the door because there are so many people who are in my house as I speak. They want school fee. And I know what it is to lack school fee, because I lacked at one point. And my role as a servant of the people is to serve them. And I will serve them, and solely them. If Azimio government would have come in place, maybe Ruto is jealous because Azimio government is now not in place, which was supposed to offer free education. Right now we would be having free education. But look at where we are. That no MP is enjoying. You can see all of them are here. They've been talking to you. They have boycotted all these committees, all these meetings. They are being paid allowances. They've said they don't need those allowances. I cannot take allowance to benefit myself to the detriment of my people. My people cannot suffer as I enjoy, because my people are my bosses. I'm their servant. And the Bible says that a leader must be a servant. For you to lead, you must serve. He who wants to be the greatest among you must be the least among you, must agree to serve you, says the Bible. And I want to tell you, my brother, that we are not going to agree to this. MPs are not enjoying. MPs are saddened. And for the first time, we are united. and we will be united until money is sent to us.
All right, karibuni wote, the ones who are joining us now. I think this is the second feed. We had a show throughout the night. And because majority have requested that you people are really enjoying the show, you're really enjoying the conversation. So we've decided to honor your request and proceed with the show. So karibuni sana, and you also welcome those ones. You can share the link and invite others to come and help us or help watch so that we can watch together. I know majority are used to watching the show at night time, but at least today you have an opportunity to follow and give your comment during the day. Caroline Atieno, karibu sana. Abdaza Ali, karibu. Evans Kipto, karibu. Unasema true, siku hizi umekoma babu. Babu have always been passionate about education, and if you've been looking at his speech and most of the complaints and alarm that you've been raising has always been about education. He's one man who always advocated for and wanted a country whereby every child can be given an equal opportunity to compete. And according to Babu's belief, or according to his school of thought, he do believe that the only equalizer that we have as a nation is through education. So this one comes at a time whereby we've lost the former CS education, a great man who really stood for the right things, a great man who stood for the quality of our education. And at the same time, it also comes at a point where we've received the KCSE results, a result that has raised and led to so many debates on whether it was real or the students were given or awarded grades that they did not qualify for. So that is what we are going to discuss today. MPs demanding CDF to be paid in their accounts. So the question we are asking, are these MPs right to demand for that money to be paid, or should they just forget about the CDF, or are there any other ways in which this money can be allocated or dispersed and used without going to the accounts that are controlled or managed by the MPs? Most people have been claiming that this money should not be given to MPs because majority of them misuse this money and use it as a tool to coerce voters so that they can be able to vote in one direction, telling them that because you are given some bursary, you need to vote for them. And it has also made some of the MPs forget about their role in making laws and legislating. So they are no longer legislators, because at the end of the day, what will determine whether they are elected is how many people they gave the CDF or the bursary. And we are also paying tribute to the late Professor Magoha. So maybe before I welcome Godfrey Omore to give his submission, I want to play a short clip that will help us remember and identify who this man Magoha was. Yufi, karibu sana. I'm happy to see that you are here. You are here the entire night and you're still here. That shows how much you value and like these kind of discussions. Brian, Richard, karibu. You were there before and you are still here. You are not leaving. So karibu and feel home. Invite others to tell them leo tumekuwa 24-hour economy. Atubambaike.
I'd like to have got many of them, but during my time, I managed 1A. Only kamoja. Do you get the point? And I remember in my class at Strathmore School, the boy who got 4As, I remember him. 40 years later. So this nonsense of everybody in the class getting A, please come out of it. Any teacher worth his or her salt should be able to tell the children that are going to get A's, and they are usually not very many. Then there are others who are intelligent, but the point I'm trying to make here is that you do not need an A to do anything in your life. If you think so, that you need an A to do anything in your life, then that is the second stupidity you have, and get it out of your system. Once you get over 50% on your own volition without being helped by anything in the subject that you require to do, you can do anything from engineering to medicine to architecture to law. So I hope that going forward, because the problem me and you have, if by the grace of God I'm still here in a year's time, because I'm much older than all of you, and you don't know God's time, our problem is going to be how to sustain this. You can choose to destroy your country further. I'm a surgeon. Would you like me to open you up and I don't know what to do? Tell me. Would you like me, because if you give a child who doesn't deserve an A, maybe he has a D- and you give him an A to go to the medical school, and he manages to wangle his way through. Akifungua huko ndani anaona picha tu.
Yes, those are the words from the late Professor Magoha when he was really concerned about the quality of our examination, the quality of education, and the quality of the results, the quality of A's. Do we just need A's for the sake of painting those certificates that I scored an A? And you know that the effect of poor education or the effects of just getting A's that does not have a value will be felt in maybe the near future, when these people will have graduated as either surgeons, lawyers, and maybe accountants. So this whereby we'll have accountants whereby money will be getting lost. They will not be able to account for anything. We'll be having surgeons who cannot be able to do any operation. And I think you are aware, even currently, we do have some Google doctors. When you go to the hospital and you're having some issue, as you are explaining your problem, they are also explaining the same problem in the Google. They're also typing the same problem in the Google. So you wonder, why would you have to go to the doctor and you're also having internet? Why would you not just Google and get the resolution of the recommended medicine, then go to the pharmacy and buy? So these are some of the concerns that Magoha had. So this one comes at a time whereby schools have opened this week and some parents are stranded. They're not able to pay the school fee simply because there used to be some subsidy on the secondary fee, and this one has been removed. The cost of life has also shot high and people are not able to afford the basic needs. So a secondary need like education is also at limbo. And at the same time, Kenyans are also asking questions concerning this bursary, that if these schools belong to the government, why do the government has to give you bursary so that you go and again pay in a government institution? Why can't they just make this education free for everyone? Or why can't they just deposit this money directly to the schools and say that every Kenyan to work in those institutions and learn? So karibuni wote, and you also try to invite and share the link. Those ones who are on Facebook, karibu sana, Veronica Kasau. We are happy to see you this morning, and we are happy that you're following us. So you can also comment there, tell us where you're following from as we invite others. Tag them, tag them and tell them to come and contribute. You can also use the link that we've shared there and join the studio so that you can participate and give your contribution. Let me welcome Godfrey Ooma. Maybe he can tell us something.
Thank you, Leo. You know, it is so sad to lose such a person at this moment. The guy who has been pushing for a lot of reforms upon education. Okay, there's a lot of speculation about his death. We cannot talk about his death, but I think it's very sad. May his soul rest in peace. You know, on the issue of bursary, I think we have to put some mechanism in it, because a lot of people, kuna some ambao hawaja benefit. In fact, these needy people, these needy children, they have not benefit from this thing. Unaenda unapata pesa imetoka na imeingia kwa account ya an MP. MP anatoa maybe only 2,000 ama 3,000 ama 5,000. Anapatiana vitu watoto wachache, pesa zingine zote wanakula. I think the best thing we can do, we need to find a mechanism whereby this thing, the structure, must be put in a place whereby kila mtu ataweza ona hii pesa ambayo imewekwa kwa account inatumika vipi. I think they can follow up, they can check everything, what is doing, na vile pesa zimeisha, kama ime serve its purpose ama kama haija serve its purpose. But I don't push or I cannot advocate kwa hiyo pesa iwekwe kwa account ya an individual MP. No, that one it will not work because a lot of these people ni watu ambao wameenda na matumbo zao, wanataka kukula hiyo pesa. Hakuna manufaa ambayo itasaidia zikiwa kwa mfuko wao. We need to push for another mechanism ambayo itaweza kusaidia all the needy people. But now when we look at this government has no interest na mtu wa chini. The government cannot push even angalia kitu kama help ambayo ilikuwa inasaidia watoto wa university, wameleta propaganda mpaka wanataka kuitoa. This government cannot help mtu wa chini. So I don't know which way tutatumia ndio tuweze kufaulu, because when you say that we are waiting for our people, our MPs in the parliament to pass some directions, hawatapitishia. These are guys ambao wamekuwa captured na the state na most of them wamenunuliwa na state, sasa wana push with everything about state inafanya ndio hao wanaenda nayo. So at this right moment, I don't think if there's any help that we can get at the moment. We need to find another way. And another way, I think we need to check on what our leader told us, our president Raila Amolo Odinga. Tuone yeye anataka njia gani ili tufuate hiyo njia. If possible, this government inue mkono, we take over and we find a way that we can deliver our people. But with this government, there's no solution with this government. Leo, unaweza chukulia hapo.
Yeah, it's true. You'll find that the government is currently not organized. They are not giving solutions. They know very well that education is the key. Education is the only equalizer that makes things equal. This is the only table that invites the poor and the rich, and they are able to sit on the same table and compete equally. And this is the only chance that makes the rich join the poor join the club of the rich, because it is through education that makes those people who are poor to become future rich men and women. So if you see a government that is not investing in education, this is a government that is killing the future. This is a government that doesn't want the poor to change their status. And this one also is also evident when the current regime appointed the CS. You'll find that they left the qualified Magoha and replaced him with unqualified Machogu. And if you read the tribute that was given by William Ruto, he really praised Magoha as an intellect, as somebody who was dedicated to his work, as somebody who stood for and really appreciated a quality of education. But one is left asking, if he was really sincere with the words of praise that he gave Magoha yesterday, then why did he have to replace him with somebody who is doing exactly opposite? So it tells Kenyans that he doesn't want Kenyans to get the best, because he knew who was able to do the work. He knew very well that Magoha was the best in that position, according to his tribute, but he still went ahead and replaced him with somebody else. So in other words, he was simply confirming it to you yesterday that I left something that was good for you and gave you something that was not worthy. And that one is evident to what is happening in the country currently. The government is not giving priority to what is going to benefit the citizens. Instead, the government is giving priority to themselves. From the video that you've just played there, you've heard Babu Wino saying these MPs are taken to some fancy hotels in Mombasa, where they are going to be coerced at the expense of common mwananchi, or at the expense of those kids who are waiting for school fee to go to school. So they have money to fly and give allowances and they pay for beds and lunch and breakfast to these MPs in these beautiful hotels in Mombasa, but they don't have money to subsidize education for our children who are joining secondary, or the ones who are continuing with their studies in secondary. It's so sad that we need to tell the Kenya Kwanza government that is enough is enough. We need things done the right way. That is why, as we are mourning Magoha, we are not only mourning Magoha, our education has also died. So I know there's nothing that we can do to resurrect Magoha. We'll finally have to bury him. But what Kenyans can do, they can stop burying Magoha together with education. They can do something to resurrect our education so that as Magoha goes to the grave, our education remains, our education gets some life. That is the call that maybe I can give Kenyans, that we don't need to see our education getting done away with. Just play. I think this is the video that I wanted.
Incredible team in delivering credible examinations for our children will remain etched in our history. For many more cabinet secretaries that will come after me, the main thing that I advise them is not to drop the ball in safeguarding the integrity of our national examinations. They must keep intact the trajectory of examination reforms that we have put in place.
That was the clarion call that George Magoha gave, I think, when he was handing over the Ministry of Education. And he told the people who are going to replace him that what they did to consider, they should ensure that they don't lower the bar. Instead, he wanted them to either maintain it or raise it a bit higher. But what have they done? The president told you wajinga waliisha Kenya. Nasikia Igesa George, that is true. Tuliambiwa wajinga waliisha Kenya, lakini kwa ukweli hawezi taka wajinga waishe Kenya. Manake amejua wajinga wakiisha Kenya atakosa wale watu wa kuwadai na kudanganya. Ndiposa wanataka kuharibu mienendo yetu ya au misingi yetu ya kimasomo, ili kwa miaka zinazokuja tusiwe na watu werevu, tuwe na watu ambao watakuwa wanafanya na wanalagaiwa jinsi wanavyotaka. Na sasa Wakenya inapaswa sisi kama Wakenya wazalendo tusimame imara na tuseme kuwa wajinga waliisha Kenya, na hatutaki kuzalisha wajinga wengine. Hatutaki kuwa na kizazi kingine cha wajinga. Kama kulikuwa na wajinga Kenya, waliisha, na hatutaki kuendeleza hiyo generation ya ujinga. Na hii serikali ni kama they are really ready and they really have the appetite of extending the generation of wajinga, ndio waweze kuwadanganya kila wakati, wazidi kuwatumia na kuwagandamiza na kuwanyanyasa. Ndio pasa Wakenya wazalendo wanaitwa wasimame imara na waseme la, na waseme no. Hatutakubali kudanganywa tena. Hatutakubali kuambiwa kila siku tunapewa ahadi juu ya ahadi, na ahadi zile zilipeanwa awali hazijaitimizwa. So we want the previous promises honored before we were given any other promise, and that is the concern of any other Kenyan. They'll tell you education is supposed to be free, Carolina Atieno, and that has been the call. Like if you look at the manifesto of the Azimio, they really realize that the only way you can change a society, and Nelson Mandela agrees and said it, that the only way you can change a society is through education. And that is why in their manifesto, Baba said very well that education will be free from primary to secondary. It happened in Libya when Gaddafi was the president. Education was free. You don't need to pay. These schools belong to the government. Why will the government give you a bursary which also comes from the government account, then at the same time you are going to pay this money back to the government? Why can't they just make education free so that every child, what you need, you just need your body and your brain, and you go in these classrooms and learn? Why do we have to pay for education, yet these services should be given by the government? At independence, the founders of this country said that they were going to fight ignorance, disease, and poverty. But still now, they are not fighting ignorance, because the best way to fight ignorance is make education free. So many countries do that, and we Kenyans are not exception. We can be able to give free education right from primary to university. And for you to maybe to know that the government is not serious, You heard Moses Kuria yesterday said that they are going to privatize the universities. So just imagine if the cost of a university is expensive now and it is run by the government. So what will happen if these universities, like remember, just think of UON being a private university. Will our children be able to pay the fee? The cost of what people pay in the private universities like USIU, Strathmore, whatever. So now our public universities, the Moi that the Maseno that the Kenyatta University that are now put under private individuals' hands, so that they're the ones who are managing, running, and determining the cost or the fee that you're paying. Will Kenyans really be able to learn? In other words, Moses Kuria was telling you, we are going to make education so expensive so that you people who are poor will continue being ignorant, because they've realized education is the one that opens your eyes. So they want to make it so expensive for a common mwananchi to afford. At the same time, nobody is going to give you that loan. So it's really interesting ahead. And this war against education should end. We need to call it to an end. Naona ndugu yangu Chaka Mdume amewasili. Chaka, habari ya asubuhi? Oh, Chaka, it seems you're having some problem with the connecting. Maybe you can just reconnect again so that you can join us and give your contribution. Kevin Ochieng, we are on, we are live. The previous one ended and we've started another one. So karibu na iwaambie wengine kama wewe ambao bado hawajajua tuko live kuwa tumerudi hewani na tuko live. I think mnasemanga live and kicking. So welcome them, share the link so that they can join us. Brian Richard, yeah, it's amazing how the CDF united the MPs. You realize that the CDF unite anything that you see uniting the MPs across the board should raise your eyebrows. It is not about you. It is not about this CDF going to schools. It is about this CDF benefiting them before they benefit you. And that is why I say it here, that these MPs should not be given that CDF. And I thank Lempa, that lawyer who took the case to court, and he actually won the case. And those people who've appealed the case, they're still going to lose. If they have to give the CDF, let them restructure it, and they can even devolve it and take it to the county governments, or they allow the CDF management committee to operate independently without interference of these people called MPs. The role of your MP is to legislate. That is why they are called legislators. Legislator is somebody who makes laws, somebody who amends laws, and somebody who opposes punitive laws. But they cannot be able to do that one right now, because they know at the end of 5 years, you'll not ask them, where were you when the government was introducing a law to increase tax? Where were you when the government was introducing a law maybe to ban hawkers from hawking in town? They know very well you'll not ask such questions, yet those are the questions we should be asking them after every 5 years. When they go there, they'll come and tell you that Wanjiku, kumbuka mimi nilipatia mtoto wako 5,000 akaenda shule. Otieno, kumbuka mimi nilikuja nikakulipia 500 wakati ulikuwa umeadmitiwa kwa hospitali. At that time, you'll not be able to ask them, why didn't you make a law to make it compulsory, to force the government to make health care free? Why didn't you make a law to ensure that we are not paying anything when we visit public offices? So they'll not be able to respond to that, because they know very well there is CDF there that is going to cover their laziness and lack of not working for the common mwananchi. Most of these MPs that we have in parliament, if you remove the CDF, then you wait for the next 4 years. If people will be going for another election, they will not be elected. Why? They'll not be elected simply because they don't perform their duties as legislators. What they go doing there, they've changed from legislators to CDF management boards. And we should tell them that if they want to become CDF managers, let them quit calling themselves legislators and they register NGOs or charity associations, or they register their foundation so that they can do charity work back at the village, instead of posing as MPs when they are making zero laws. They are not helping Kenyans as far as legislation is concerned. So this thing called CDF is uniting them for their own benefit. And if whenever you see these guys coming together, it is either they are fighting for money that is going to be in their pocket, like raising the allowances, or one of them is threatened and they know if this threat succeeds, it's going to spread to all of them. There's nothing about Mwananchi that brings them together. So on this, I don't support them. That money should not be given to them. Let that money be sent direct to school so that children can go to school freely and it will be fair. Chakandume, karibu.
Asante ndugu yangu Magoha. Na vile ndugu yangu Jesse. Hapo umezungumzia ukweli.
Hausikiki, paza sauti.
Unanipata sasa?
Sasa uko sawa, karibu.
Yes. Okay, asante sana ndugu yangu kwa kunipa hii nafasi ya kuweza kuchangia mawili matatu hapa. Kwa swala hilo la CDF ni kwamba naelekea katika mtazamo wako, na kwa kweli kuona hawa watu wakija pamoja wakileta hii pesa ikuje kwao, kweli wananchi tunaweza sema sawa, inaweza tusaidia, na kwa kweli baadhi imetusaidia kwa jambo moja au lingine, lakini pia kuna kama msukumo fulani kwamba hawa watu wanang'ang'ana hii pesa iingie, pia kuna kitu pale wanajua wataweza kunao kufanya nini, kupata. Kwa hiyo naungana na wewe mkono kwamba kama ni hivyo basi hii pesa CDF kama nikiingia kwa shule, ingia kwa shule, watoto wasome free, na kama ni masuala basi ingia kwa matibabu, kuwe na dawa za kutosha hospitalini, tuachane na mambo nenda private ununue. At least hapo hii pesa itakuwa imefanya maneno. Vinginevyo basi iwe na mtu maalum, mama iko na ofisi maalum kwamba hii pesa inakuwa na audit, iangaliwe haswa ndio umepewa, lakini je, umepewa kwa miradi gani? Uelekeze miradi yako, pewe pesa kulingana na ile miradi umefanya nini, umeafiki. Yaani katika hali kama hiyo. But huku kuja kwa pamoja hivi na kuidemand kwa kauli moja, it seems kwamba wabunge pia kuna kitu hapo watakuwa nao wanataka kupata, na ndiposa waamue maamuzi kama haya, kimtazamo wangu mimi. Kwa hivyo kama ni jambo kama ulivyolizungumzia kwamba hizi pesa ziingizwe shule direct tayari kwa mashule, pia ni jambo la muhimu zaidi, kwa sababu itakuwa limesaidia wale wazazi wanyonge wasio afford school fees. Na kunao wazazi wako na watoto 4, watoto 5, watoto 6 ambao wanasoma mashule, na kila mtoto hapa anakula school fees yake. Kuna huo mtindo umekuja sasa hivi wa walimu wa ziada ambao lazima hapo ndo kwenye changamoto zaidi. So kwa kweli kama ni hivyo basi pesa iajiri walimu wa kutosha, ilipie hiyo masuala na school fees, na biashara iwe imeishia pale. Ndio maana naungana zaidi na kauli yako kwamba hizi pesa ziingizwe tayari kama ni mashule direct. Kama ni masuala na hospitali basi ziingizwe kwa hospitali zetu ziwe na madawa. Kama pengine ni za kujenga barabara ama ni za kufanya mradi fulani katika eneo bunge, basi hizo pesa zitiwe direct kwa huo mradi. Yaani ifanyie mwananchi direct, kuliko kwamba waingangane tena baadhi yao mwisho wa siku hizi pesa ziishie mifukoni mwa watu, itakuwa si jambo la msingi. Kwa hiyo naungana na wewe katika hiyo kauli kaka kabisa. Na lingine bado mimi niko upande wa kuitaka ili taifa letu lisimame tu, na sitaacha kulizungumza. Mapema utanipa nafasi kaka yangu Nyebaya, kwamba Kenya kwa miaka mingi imetawaliwa na siasa mbaya, siasa ya piga au vyovyote vile, lakini tuhakikishe kwamba tumeingia kwa serikali. Siasa mbaya ambayo imekithiri haswa katika jamii mbili tu, jambo ambalo hakika limeathiri nafasi za jamii zingine kuonyesha yale makali ya uongozi, kuonyesha nia na ari ya kutaka kuongoza na kusifika pia katika hali hiyo. So ni wakati tu kwamba hili jambo kulikomesha sisi kuja pamoja, na sipingi kwamba wakale wasio wa rais mawakili wasio wa rais, tunashukuru ndio wameongoza hii taifa kwa hiyo miaka yote, but pia imefika wakati kila mtu apewe nafasi, kila kabila lipewe nafasi. Ndivyo ndugu zetu wa Tanzania hapa wanavyofanya, kila jamii inakuwa represented pale. Marais wote wenye wamekuwa pale, basi utakuta yule alitoka jamii fulani, yule alitoka jamii fulani, hawaja kuwa jamii moja, kwamba ikitoka generation hii ni generation hii. Na ndio unakuta bado kuna wale ambao walitawaliwa na hiyo siasa kutokana na manufaa wanayoyapata haswa wakiwa katika hali hiyo ya uongozi. Sasa wana roho ya kuongoza, na kuna wale ambao wanajua tukiingia katika hiyo serikali basi ndio mwanzo wa kujipatia pesa na kujilipia mali na kuhakikisha sisi ndio tunakuwa na usemi, maana ndio wenye navyo. So for real, ni wakati sisi wa Kenya tuje pamoja, tukomeshe hizi siasa mbaya, fishe njia haswa katika njia zetu za mahakama. Tusishuhudie haya ambayo yameweza kutokea this time around, maana ni waibu kwa mahakama. Wale walifanya majaji wetu si kitu ambacho kilikuwa ni cha msingi zaidi, na si kitu ambacho kinatia imani kwamba mahakama zetu kwa kweli zinaamua kama vile ambavyo alikuwa Maraga wakati ule. Ni jambo ambalo pia ni sisi wa Kenya tuweze kusafisha swala letu la uchaguzi. Chaguzi ziwe ni transparent, ziwe ni za huru na haki. So mzigo huu tukiwachia wanasiasa, hakuna vile watakuja pamoja watupe njia ambazo zitaanza kuondoa huu uchafu huu. Ni baadhi ya viongozi ambao tunakuta wana nyoyo, wako na track record, wako na moyo wa Ukenya kuliko mtu mwenyewe binafsi. Tumuunge mkono ama tuwaunge mkono, hata wawe wawili watatu, lakini wanasema hapana, sisi si lolote, Kenya ni bora kulikoni mtu mwingine hapa. Tumalizane na hili tatizo. But wale wako katika serikali, wengi wao ni wale wanaumizwa kwamba tukiingia kwa serikali basi that's the time tumechupana na umaskini. Hapo tutajipa, tutakula shares, hapo tutakuwa hapo tutafanya biashara zetu tutakavyo. Kwa wako katika personal interest kuliko Mkenya wa kawaida, na mara nyingi Mkenya mnyonge ndo anayetumiwa kuendelea. So tumepewa njia, ndugu zangu, Wakenya wenzangu wazalendo, tumepewa njia. Let's make use na hiyo njia, maana na imani kabisa hata kama ni vipi, lakini Raila hajakuwa na track record ya kuchukua na binafsi kwa kutaka, maana kama ni pesa yuko nayo, na kama ni kupigania hichi amepigania. Akitaka kusema anasimama nje na familia yake itatulia. Lakini je, tudulize maswali madogo tu kidogo tu haswa katika akili zetu kama Wakenya. Je, ni nani mtu mwingine ambaye tunaweza kumtumia haswa kama kiongozi wetu pale juu kama sio mzee? So wamuhame wale wanasema kwa nini magavana, maana nimeingia kwa comment section, kuna baadhi ya viongozi wa Azimio haswa Mutula Kilonzo analaumu kwa nini waliruhusu magavana wake waweze kukaribisha rais. Mimi sijaona tija. Yeye atembee popote pale, lakini Wakenya akili zetu tunajua ziko timamu. Hatupigani tena, hatutatumia mawe, hatutatumia nini, lakini tutatumia maneno ambayo haya maneno yetu ndio ambayo yataweza kulikomboa hili taifa. Maana haya ni maneno ya kutuunganisha wote kama jamii moja, na tutoe hawa watu ambao wamekuwa na hii hulka ya kwamba ukiingia kwa madaraka basi wewe ndio mwenye usemi, wewe ndio kila kitu. Sasa inatokana tunaacha kazi ile ambayo tumewapa, wanaacha hiyo kazi. Sasa ndio wao wanatupangia ni nini watatufanyia. Kwa hiyo mimi kaka Nyabaya nikwamie pale, lakini warai ndugu zangu wa Kenya, tusirudi nyuma. Hatuwezi enda uchaguzi wa 2017 kama hatujaweza kusafisha njia ya kura zetu na masuala na tume za chaguzi, swala na tume za nini, mahakama na mle ambamo mote ambamo mna mashimo. Lazima tusafishe, tuhakikishe kwamba ni Kenya hii kesi hizi hazikai miaka miwili, miaka mitatu, hususan hizi ambazo ni za mabonyenye zinamaliza miaka 10. Mtu ameiba kuku, njaa imemzidi, ameiba kuku, atafungwa maisha ama atafungwa miaka 20. Sasa hatuja kuwa na haki hapo. So at least mtu akiambiwa mbona una tatizo, atoke kwa ofisi likiwe hiyo kesi tumalizike, ndio hapa watu watatia adabu. Hatutaona watu wakipora pesa ovyo ovyo. Kwa tunataka tufundekane wa Kenya wenzangu, katika Kenya ile chafu na mbovu tuliokuwa nayo, tuilete Kenya mpya ambayo mwananchi ndio mwenye usemi, na wakiri kwamba mwananchi, viongozi wakiri, hasa wale tunawachagua, wakiri kwamba wananchi ndio wenye usemi. Usemi wetu silini ni sasa hivi kuungana, kuhakikisha kwamba huu uchafu tunaona kwa serikali tumesafisha hawa watu, na pia wakati tukiwa tumetengeza taifa, wale walipatikana wako na makosa, waliiba pesa, wale watu hakuna cha msamaha. Pesa zetu zirejeshwe na wao nao waishie jela. Hilo ndo ombi langu na hayo ndo mapendekezo yangu, na ndio maana mimi nitapaza sauti yangu juu kuhakikisha haya machafu tunayashuhudia hatutayaona tena kabisa. Hiyo ndo langu ndugu yangu Nyabaya kwa muda huu sasa hivi.
Okay, asante sana Chakandume. Somebody is telling you that free education cannot be achieved. Maybe just to remind her or him to reduce poverty in Egypt, they introduced free education, and the same also happened in Morocco. That is the only way, the only lever that you can use to reduce poverty. Because once people get educated, they'll be able to gain skills that will not only make them create employment, but these skills they will also use the same skills in agricultural field. The same skills will also make them to see and perceive things differently. So telling us that free education cannot be achieved is not only misleading, but it is denying Kenyans an opportunity to develop. The only problem that Kenyans have, once you are educated, it will help you to perceive things differently, whereby if a politician comes today and tell you they are going to give you a free loan, you'll be able to stand there and tell them that there's nothing called free loan. A loan is a loan, and loan cannot be free. It cannot be free because it is a repaid. If they want to give you free, then they should call it a grant. But the fact that they know our people are not informed, they'll come and cheat you and give you some 6-month promises, fail to deliver, and still give you another promise. And for the issue of CDF, what Babu Owino and these MPs should do, just as Caroline Atieno puts it, they should fight for what is called free education. It doesn't make sense. These schools belong to the government. I've seen the bursaries are not paid to private schools. The bursaries you are given, you normally pay them to a government school. So why will the government give you money to pay them? It tells you it is possible to make education free. It will reduce corruption. It will reduce unfairness, because if you say education is free, every child will have to attend. But if you introduce this unfair bursary, which is given depending on who you know in that CDF office, or your relationship with your MP, or whether you voted or did not vote for that MP, this one can only be leveled and stopped when we have what is called free primary education. Try thinking of, Chaka, you are having your shop, and in that shop you are selling sugar and you are also selling milk. Why would you give your house girl money to go and pay again to get that sugar? Why can't you just go and get that sugar and bring it to the house? So the government, instead of giving this bursary to the pockets of these hungry and greedy MPs, they just need to pay this money direct to schools. Or they need to improve the infrastructure of these schools, because they pay teachers' salaries and allow our children to learn for free. So for those ones who want to pay for school fee, they should be given an opportunity to go to private schools, but not public schools. Public schools should be free. It has happened in several countries across the world. In Africa, I've just given you example of Morocco. I've given you example of Egypt. The Zimbabwe, if you look at the literacy level, Zimbabwe is ranked way ahead of Kenya. It's a country that has got majority of them are literate simply because they made the education free. Gaddafi did the same. You would walk in classroom from class 1 to university. Our neighboring country, Somalia, before the civil war, before the 1990, when they were under the rule of someone called Siad Barre, they were having the education free from nursery to university. So what stops Kenya from doing that? I don't see anything that can stop Kenya from doing that. Welcome, I've seen fantastic overload. Karibu, you can overload those things that have those fantastic things over here.
It's fanatic.
Fanatic.
The countries that you've mentioned, do they have a same political strategy kama Kenya? Ama they have a different political system? Because mostly the you've mentioned, they've been through socialist and most have been through the communist systems. So I don't know what you're talking about. Make that clear, please.
All right,
Kenya, we've not
I think the Kenyan political system is one that is, I don't know whether in Kenya we are capitalist country, yeah? We are capitalist country, and that is why you'll find that most of our MPs and the people we elect in these offices, they normally think with a capitalist mind, and they are opposed.
Why would you think that free education is achievable in Kenya in a capitalist society? That will be ignorant and very dismissive.
So we need to start by changing. You know, whether you're a capitalist or a socialist or a communist, this thing depends with the mindset and the people we put in leadership. It doesn't need a constitutional change to change the way our country is governed. It only needs the change of mind. So if our MPs can have a change of mind, then we are set to go. We don't need a constitutional change to say that, no, we are not a capitalist country. We are not a capitalist country by constitution. We are a capitalist country by the mindset and the people that we put at the level of leadership.
Which country are you in? Are you in Kenya or are you in diaspora?
I'm in Kenya. I'm in Kenya.
Ask those who are in diaspora, especially those who are in America, will they rather take their kids to a free ghetto project school, or will they take their kids to a private school? Which is better? Ask them, and they will answer. They have a perfect answer for you. You will see why free education system has failed in the greatest nation, America. How can it work in Kenya? People don't want free education in America. They don't want them. That's for the ghetto kids. Wale mama zao wanakula cracks, cocaine and shit nini, ndo wanapelekwa in free schools. So how can it work in Kenya? We are so far behind, like 200 years behind America. So how can it work in Kenya right now, free education? We tried it during Kibaki's time. We saw what had happened. It failed. Hakuna mtu anataka kupeleka mtoto wake government school. Primary.
Okay, fanatism. Let me just bring you on board. You've said we tried it during the time of Kibaki, and you're also asking how can it work in Kenya. It is simple. For it to work in Kenya, it just needs what is called a responsibility and to do away with corruption. If the government invests and puts a lot of infrastructure in public schools, pays teachers, and everything is done well, history, and it is evident that public schools in Kenya have always performed better than the so-called private schools. Forget about the awarding system, the type of corruption that we have. And if you want to prove that it is true, go to Nairobi. Just go to this school called the Moi Avenue Primary School. It is at the center of the CBD. Go and check today if you will be able to get a chance to admit your kid. And go and check the kids who are there. They are kids whose parents pick them driving. They don't walk to that place. So this notion that public schools are meant for ghetto kids, I think it is misplaced. I stayed in
You cannot be
And
selective.
for
You cannot
and
pick
to pick
one
your
and
kid, you
generalize
sometimes have to
everything.
bribe the head teacher because the chances are not there. The rich people are the ones who
Leo,
occupy
Leo,
these public schools. Yeah.
Leo, you're missing the point. You cannot pick one and generalize the whole thing that it has worked. We don't do that. We don't pick one. We don't get to pick. We have 47 counties.
Right. What is the number? I want you to give me some factual information or figures. What is the number of schools that we have in the rural areas? And most of the kids you see in the university come from the rural areas. In rural areas, we have 90% public schools. So I don't think what you're saying is factual. You don't have data that can prove that. Most of the kids who are performing better in our universities are from the rural schools. In rural schools, 90% of the schools are public. So if you want to talk of performance or the quality of these public schools, I think you are misleading. The only thing that is making Kenya not to run a free primary school is
You are so
corruption,
disattached from the ground, my
sincerity,
friend.
and lack of
You are
government.
so disattached from the ground.
You need to come back and check.
You are so disattached from the ground. No one wants to take mtoto wake kuinani to a public school. No one. Are you living in the same Kenya ama you have a different mlango yenye unapitiaga unaingia
The
Kenya?
information I'm giving you is from Kenya, and you can even check even the last exam that was released. Just check and tell me which schools perform better, which schools are having the highest population. What is the number of public schools compared to the private schools? Doing admissions, like people admitting from one, go and look which schools attracted majority. We're having private
Then
schools
this
and
is where you are
public schools. Which ones attracted most of the people? That is what I want you to go and check.
This
Then
is why the education system is failing. This is why it's failing. No one wants to address the issue. That's why it's failing. Once we start addressing the issues and we come up with better ways to fix the issues, not just picking the good apples na zile bad apples tunazificha nyuma, like these are the good apples, so we'll sell these ones. You are not addressing the issue. It's like ni ukuta unaziba, the Swahili saying. So do you think you are
maybe before maybe we proceed, I want you to check in some of these countries in Europe and you confirm with me if they're not offering free education. I want you to check Norway. I think tuition is not only reduced or free for citizens, and even foreigners are able to do that. I want you to check with Sweden, check with Germany, Denmark, Finland, Austria. I think is also doing the same. France and Greece. And you tell me, we can't compare everything with America. Maybe American having their own preserved culture, so we can't use it as an SI unit to determine whether a country is able to do something or not. There are some other things that they might be doing well, but as far as education is concerned, even if I want to compare the academic qualifications, it is wrong to compare our education system with the American system. Those guys you see in the American university get their theses and their projects done by our Form 3 dropouts in Kawangware, Babadogo, and Kayole. Those guys who are having cybers in Kayole are the ones who do their project. So you cannot tell me that you want to compare our education system or the intelligence of Kenyans to the guys who are in America. I can see Nancy Nyansweta has arrived. Maybe she had some concern. She said she can no longer keep on commenting there. She wants to maybe speak it out. Madam Nancy, karibu.
Asante. I just wanted to take on that input. This Fanat, is it Fanat is taking advantage of you because he thinks you're in Kenya, you're not informed. But I think you're 1,000 more informed than him. Like you said, it's true. It's Kenyans who do the assignments. I'm guilty as well. I'm in Australia. Sometimes I send my assignments to Kenyans, I'm putting my, but I know what he's talking about. I've been to America too, and I know it's like 5%. Some schools there are very ghetto. And it's because of the culture there. They carry guns and drink and everything. That's the school he's comparing with Kenyans. Kenyans, we don't have access to all those things. He's just comparing like 1 or 2% of public schools, which you can't even take your kid there. So he's generalizing it. But if you come to Australia here, public schools are even better than private, you know, because over here the culture is so good. It's like they don't have like things like drugs and any guns, and it's very disciplined, you know. So that's just I wanted to input. Not everybody here is ignorant.
Thank you for confirming that. Actually, when you speak of it, you are somebody who is on the ground and can confirm that it do
Yeah.
happen.
And
So what
I've been
happened
in
is
both places.
Can someone tell me how much it costs to open up a school in Kenya? Kama kuna mtu anajua between the two of you, tell me.
All right,
how
let
much?
me give you. Let me explain that one to you. By the way, maybe I'm in the
They've
field of
given you
education.
their
I'm a
research.
teacher. I've taught in several schools in Nairobi, and
Yeah.
apart from that, I've also taught outside in Nairobi, in outside countries, and I can be able to compare education system and the education systems in other countries. So what happens? The cost of starting a school in Kenya, it depends with the location and maybe what you want to run. There are people, if you're having your own plot, like in Nairobi, these estates in Nairobi, if you're having maybe 2 floors that are having 8 rooms, that is enough for you to start a school. You only need to get some 5 or 6 teachers. You know, in Nairobi, what they do, these teachers who are newly trained, because the government has refused to pay them, there are some schools they are paid as low as less than 15,000 shillings. So you'll find that I personally have a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, who started a school with only 200,000 shillings at a place called Choka. And I can invite you to go there if you go to happen to visit Nairobi and look at Choka Preparatory Academy. And the school is currently running, having 2 streams, and it started with only
You should
200,000
look what
shillings.
the law
So it
says
doesn't
about
it
opening
doesn't
up a
cost you
school.
much to start a school. And remember, you started it at the point
That's
when we had
1.3
Corona.
million.
Yeah. So as long as you can get some house
1.3
rent and you hire some few teachers and you get the stationaries, then you're fit to
million.
go. That is what
Million.
happens.
The conditions are that you own at least 1.3 million and you must have owned the land for the past 15 years.
So you see, you are reading from the books. That is now the difference. Those are conditions that don't apply. On the ground, you don't follow. Like the conditions are telling you for you to start a school, you need a huge field
You
for
live by
playing.
the law.
How
You
many
live by the
schools do
law.
you have
You are not.
tested without even a parking for the
You are not
motorbike?
savages.
So
You
the
live in
problem
a
is you are reading from the books, and me, I'm telling you what is happening actually on the ground. You are like this Jubilee, the Kenya Kwanza people who are telling us that the cost of living is low, they've reduced the cost of living, but the Kenyans who are on the ground are telling them that is not the case. You are like the agriculture minister who was surprised and was really appreciating that the price of egg is 21 shillings from 15 shillings, and he was really celebrating that farmers are now making a lot of money, forgetting that there is a cost that is involved in producing these eggs. So for you to sell it at 21 shilling, maybe you're only earning a shilling. With him, he thought that getting 21 shillings compared to a previous 10 shilling is an achievement. So that is the difference between those people who view things at the UDA perspective and we others who are viewing things in the perspective of reality. Oh, so you've gone. You've decided to get lost. Okay, guys, you can continue joining and inviting others so that they can join. What we will not allow is we won't allow people to maybe come here and start misleading Kenyans. When somebody starts telling you that free education is not possible, that person is lying to us. It is possible. In fact, when Kibaki came into power in 2002, it did not take him even a month to implement free education. And at that time, we had an economy that was more dilapidated than what they're claiming to have today. Within the shortest time, our kids were able to go to school. I'm one of the people who managed to go to school because of that free primary. In the olden days, during those times, even primary was hard. Few people in your village would have that standard 8 certificate. And I think it was really valued. Kibaki is the one who rendered that certificate useless, and now people will go to secondary school and get that KCSE certificate. So we currently wanted to see a government that can ensure that at least every Kenyan has got a post-secondary training, but that one is not happening. Things are being reverted back. Alaikum salam. Let me welcome Victor wa Manchester. Bado umekataa kutoka Manchester even after we showed you people some dust. Karibu.
Bado niko Manchester, asante.
Victor, karibu, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Nasema bado niko Manchester na siogopi chochote. Itabidi niondoke kidogo, niko na jamaa hapa wenye wanaingilia mawasiliano yetu.
All right, it's okay. I want to play maybe one video for the ones who are joining now, as we keep on inviting others to join the show so that we can make the conversation continuing.
To tell you that I'm a sad man. Today, on the second day, we've been brought to Mombasa in very beautiful hotels that are very costly, paid by the public, money from the public. Why should we enjoy this? Yet our children are languishing in abject poverty. Why should we sleep in these big beds, eat the best food in the world, yet our children cannot go to school? Yet our children cannot get money for bursaries. Babu Owino is a product of education. Why not for education, I would not be here. I would not go to Nairobi. I would not even be a member of parliament. Therefore, we want to give that same opportunity to our children. As a result of that, I have decided to stop the ongoing meeting. The committee meetings, I have decided to stop them. And we will not proceed with these meetings until the money is disbursed, until CDF money is given to us, until bursary money is given to us. I give a total of 50 million Kenya shillings for bursary. I want the same opportunity that I got as Babu Owino to be given to our children to access education. And personally, I will blame the president. The buck starts and stops with Ruto. Because we can't say that the judiciary, in its wisdom or lack of the same, decided to say that CDF is not enshrined in the constitution. There was legitimate expectation. The doctrine of legitimate expectation dictates that once CDF was being disbursed, then it should be a going concern, should just be disbursed to our children to go to school. Now, Biblia, the Bible says that when your cow gets into a ditch on a Sabbath day, do you leave it or do you remove it? You will have to remove it. But instructions were given by the president to the judiciary to stop the disbursement of bursaries, disbursement of CDF money to our children. So this is the real state capture of parliament. We wanted to come here and show them the real power of parliament. We have the real power in parliament. The real power to impeach the president, the real power to impeach the deputy president, the real power to impeach the whole cabinet, the real power not to agree with the decisions made by the judiciary. So we want to show them now. We are here to fight for the interest of common mwananchi. This was the common point where all of us could have come together, because parliament is being opened on the 13th of February. That's still far. As I left Nairobi, I left the children, the students from Embakasi's constituency sleeping in my house. I was just fighting my way through the door because there are so many people who are in my house as I speak. They want school fee. And I know what it is to lack school fee, because I lacked at one point. And my role as a servant of the people is to serve them. And I will serve them, and solely them. If Azimio government would have come in place, maybe Ruto is jealous because Azimio government is now not in place, which was supposed to offer free education. Right now we would be having free education. But look at where we are. That no MP is enjoying. You can see all of them are here. They've been talking to you. They have boycotted all these committees. All these meetings, they are being paid allowances. They've said they don't need those allowances. I cannot take allowance to benefit myself to the detriment of my people. My people cannot suffer as I enjoy, because my people are my bosses. I'm their servant. And the Bible says that a leader must be a servant. For you to lead, you must serve. He who wants to be the greatest among you must be the least among you, must agree to serve you, says the Bible. And I want to tell you, my brother, that we are not going to agree to this. MPs are not enjoying. MPs are saddened. And for the first time, we are united. And we will be united until money is sent to us.
Yes, that is what happened yesterday when these MPs were called in Mombasa for some induction, and they decided they are not going to do any business until the money is sent into their account. As much as we would want the children and the students to go to school, we are not against paying that school fee. But what we are asking is, doesn't these schools belong to the government? What stops the government from paying this money directly into the school's account? Must it has to be paid to another person, or maybe to another, something like CDF? Then from that is when CDF pays. But if they have to do that, why can't they just give this money maybe to the county governments, because that is where devolution is? And if this money is maybe channeled, they create something called the Ward Development Fund, something like that, so that this CDF, this money can be distributed at the ward level. I think by this it will be fair, because each and every Kenyan will be able to reach that money, because these wards are the ones that connect, are the ones that are closer to the people than a constituency. For example, a single constituency might be having 6 wards, but if you put this money at a central place, there is an ease of manipulation and misuse. But if you distribute this money across all these 6 wards, at least each and every person is able to get the money. And that one is evident. Currently, we are able to realize the major corruption that are happening in the country because of what is called devolution. If this all money remained at the national government, people are not able to realize, because somebody will steal a billion out of maybe 50 billion and will not be able to realize. But because this money has currently been devolved, whereby maybe a county is having 1 billion, if you steal part of it, Kenyans are able to realize. So they should devolve this money and empower devolution and ensure that kids or children get the money at the ward levels, instead of giving this money to MPs who misuse it and they just use it to manipulate voters, and they use it also to coerce and punish those people who did not vote for them, who are not even allowed near these CDF offices, because these offices are politically managed. Maybe you people can give your views on that. And Nancy, what is your take on that, about this CDF issue?
This CDF issue, yeah, that just like you said, I think they need to put it direct to schools. You know, if you see the MPs uniting, like Babu Owino, I like Babu Owino, but I don't fully trust him. You know, the way he puts his things together, he knows what he wants to benefit from it, and he knows what to say so that people can listen to him. Like the way he says he has so many children in his home that he couldn't even find room to walk out. You know, it's just a way of capturing people's attention, you know. But if you look at it, it's just a way of capturing people's attention that he can't even find space to move out of his house, you know. Babu Owino knows how to capture people's attention, you know. He's crafted the skill very well. Although I like him because he's radical, you know. Like he can handle Arap Mashamba very well. That's why I like him. But with this CDF, I don't trust him fully. I feel like they have a hidden agenda, you know. 3/4 will go to their pocket quarter will go to the people, Even if you give someone 500, 300, they'll be like, yes, he helped us, So I think they should just make the schools, primary schools, free. If Kibaki was able to do it, why can't they do it really? Because it's becoming worse and worse and worse. And just like you said, they don't want people to be sensitized so that they can have fools in this country to lie to. Like right now, more people are educated, more people are informed, so they don't have very easy time manipulating people. And I think the agenda is just to reduce that one so that they can have more stupid people so that they can govern forever, That's really sad. It's really, really sad. Like the education systems in these countries, like third world, what I've seen, no, first world country like Australia or whatever, they try to make you pass. Then they try their best to make you pass, not to make you fail. In the extent that they can tell you what's coming in the paper. This is what is coming. Read this chapter, so that they give you the skill so that you'll get out of there informed so that you can be more competent in the market, not to eliminate you. Sometimes they can just like give you open book. Oh, we're having open book exam. And mostly you're not even just guided by exam only. It's attendance, it's participation, it's teamwork, all these things combined together. It's not like end term exam like KCSE. You just judged by KCSE only. If you get an A, that's it. Like even if you come to Australia or whatever, they don't, even if you got an A, they don't go by that one. They don't go by that one. If you got a D, they don't go by that one. You have to do English exam. You have to do like when you come here, your first semester will tell. I've known people who got D's. They're doctors here. So it's not about that last exam, because the last exam, most people they're nervous. Most of the people even they have dysclasia, and in Kenya they don't even have they don't accommodate people who have dysclasia. They can't spell very well. I don't know if I hope you understand. I'm sure most of you understand that one. Maybe you're grieving, so it's not about that last exam. And I think that's just something that needs to be looked into. I know so many people here in Kenya, like me here, I'm a nurse. I couldn't even stand a chance of being a nurse in Kenya, because I was not very good in sciences. But over here, they test you in many, many areas. They don't just, it's not like that you have to be an A student in science, no. So I don't know, because I believe everybody that has an IQ can do something, They just try to make sure you have an IQ, you're not mad. That's it. You're not supposed to be in Madare. I mean, even if you're in Madare, you'll be treated, but they just want to make sure you're not, over here they call it intellectual disability. You're slow, And even if you're slow intellectual, they accommodate you, they give you a very good life socially, that more than even somebody who went to school, that you won't even miss anything, So yeah, we just have a long way to go. And it's not even all about education. You have to go to school. Some people are not built for school. Some people are built for athletics and all these things. So yeah, that's my take.
Thank you. What you're saying is true, and I can confirm. Like today, if I want even to join a school in the United States, they'll ask me to do what is called IELT. Yeah, that is a language test.
Yeah.
Irrespective of what I scored, or maybe my understanding. Kenya is not considered among those countries that are listed. You have to do the test, and you have to pass the test is when they'll have to admit you. But matter of fact is that those people who score D's, of which in Kenya we consider them as failures, when they go to countries like UK or America, these are the people who become doctors and do their PhD even before the ones who scored Asia in Kenya. I have a friend of mine is currently taking his master's at Drew University in United States. This is a guy who scored a C minus, and I scored grades better than him. And he is currently doing his master's when me have not yet done that. When you went to America, those guys, you'll find that the education system is not like ours. In Kenya is a place whereby you learn for 8 years. Then these things that you've learned for 8 years, they are going to test you for only 3 days. So these 3 days will determine whatever you've been taking a course of 8 full years. So maybe by the time you're taking these exams, you are sick. Or maybe by the time I had my colleague when we were in school, we were doing sitting for KCSE, the mother had died, had passed. So just on the first day in exam, you don't expect this person to be conscious enough to remember what they've learned. So when you fail in it, they say you failed. That is the difference that we're having. You've been in school for the last 4 years, then they want to test everything you've learned in the last 4 years within a week. Then after that, you'll find that they generalize, not forgetting that you had several learning areas that were not tested. If you look at these other curriculums, like the British curriculum, I happen to taught one, the IDEXL, GCSE. You'll find that the kind of their testing that they do, like year 9, year 10, and year 11, it is something that it is not a summative like what we do in Kenya. If I'm done with this unit, I'll have to test this unit. But what I test in this unit will collectively form part of your final results, whereby we'll be able to examine you on all the areas that you studied. Unlike in Kenya, whereby you've done 10 topics and exam may becomes only from one topic, and that one will be used to determine and say that you did not understand that thing, not forgetting that that concept that you got is the one that was not tested. We can do better. Fanatism is asking the schools that are doing better in Kenya. The schools that are doing better in Kenya are run by the government. So they are not fully free simply because the government has intentionally not made them to be fully free, and they are performing well. Free education simply means we want free quality education. If the government can build the laboratories and pay teachers and staff schools very well without burdening the parents, the performance will still be the same. Those private schools that you people keep on mentioning, they are performing better not because students are paying school fee. They are performing better because the infrastructure is there. The classrooms are built. They are having the learning materials. The textbooks have been bought there. They are doing practicals. The teachers are paid salary in advance, and they are able to deliver without being stressed. So there is no difference. If the government can do the same, the government can use the money in the public schools and pay teachers, ensure the infrastructure is maintained, ensure the books and the stationery is there, these schools can equally perform better. So there is nothing that a private school will perform better than a public school simply because people are paying. What makes the difference is that when people pay, these private schools use this money well. So if the government can also use the public money well and provide these structures in the public schools, public schools can perform better than these private schools. And free primary school, primary, secondary, and university is possible. It is just that we don't have priorities. When William Ruto replaced Magoha with Machogu, and yesterday in his tribute, he really praised Magoha as one person, one perfectionist who ensured that things are done the right way. It tells you that he knew very well that Magoha was the right person in that ministry, but because he did not want you to enjoy good things or to enjoy the products of doing things right, he decided to replace him with a crook, with somebody who doesn't understand. Somebody, I've heard Baba Wino even saying that PS, somebody who's there doesn't even have the solution to the education system that we are having. So that is what he meant. He did not want you to enjoy the good things. That is why he gave you somebody who doesn't care. And his main intention is to ensure that he ruins education and doesn't give education a priority, so that you keep on being vulnerable, that he can play with you and use you as a voting tool. So it is sad that somebody who've gone through education system and is more informed will be praising that thing as an achievement. It is no longer an achievement. So I think you get that one clear. Those ones who are joining us, karibuni sana. I think it's really nice having you during the daytime. There are some who've been complaining that this show is normally done at night na ni wachawi tu ndio wanajoin na wale wako diaspora. Today at least hata wale sio wachawi mumepewa nafasi ya kuchangia, na wale wenye wako diaspora pia wafeel venye huwa mnafeel wakati wako mchana na nyinyi mko usiku. Hata nao pia leo watumie light, walipe token. Bwana Godfrey, you can take it.
Okay, just to add something on what you are talking about. You know, there's something, I was not around, but I was listening through YouTube. There's something you say that when the money has to benefit all people, I think in a fight we send for each and every schools, at least for children to have that chance to pattern. But now the problem is this corruption. These people, all of these people, they're just corrupt people. I'm a headmaster. I'm sure wakati hizo pesa zitaanza kuingia pia kwa account ya shule, kuna some of those teachers who watakuwa nakimbilia wazazi, watoto wao, watoto wa cousins zao, watoto wa auntie zao ndio wapate kwanza. So I think we just need a mechanism whereby we can find a way, pesa zikifika kila mtu ajue pesa zimeingia kiasi gani. Alafu pia our parents need to be bold. Unasikiza wale maparents wote ambao wanasema kitambo wanaogopa kila kitu, mpaka hata mtu akikosa anaogopa, hata mtoto wake anaogopa kumwambia kwa amekosa, sijui nini nawasumbua. We need bold parents ambao at least pesa ikiingia wanaweza kimbia kwa shule wakauliza ni pesa ngapi imeingia, and then they follow up in everything. Wakati hizo checks zinatengenezwa, wanaangalia, wanafuatilia, wanajua kwa check fulani zimetengenezwa na watoto fulani, na watoto pia wanafaa julikane kwa family fulani is a poor family, at least lazima ipate hii kitu. Lakini tukisema ati tunatuma tu pesa kwa shule, watakula, watakimbilia makazini zao na manti zao, ndio watakuwa napewa hizo vitu. So we just need a mechanism whereby kila kitu inaweza kuwa transparent. This corruption maharibu kila kitu. Look at what this guy was talking about yesterday. Huyu mtu ana shida za miguu. Huyu nini cabinet minister anaitwa nani? Huyu ana shida za miguu.
Moses Kuria. Yeah. But normally he talks of things that doesn't concern his ministry. I don't know how education and is related to his ministry. He is telling us how they are going to privatize universities.
So niambie, privatize university. Hao watu watalipa vipi hizo school fees? Because I believe privatize kitu kwa inakuwa more expensive kuliko vile inafaa iwe ikiwa haijakuwa private. So I don't think if this government has any interest kwa mtu wa chini. We just need a solution. I don't know how we shall do it, kwa sababu if we rely to our own MPs, hawatatusaidia. MPs wote washachukuliwa. There's no reforms tutapata in parliament. There's nothing tutapata hata kwa court pia. So I think ni sisi wenyewe tunafaa tusimame just as Kenyans, because right now I saw there's a guy called Loaded alikuwa anaongea kuwa schools hazifai kuwa free, because zikiwa free watoto wasomi, alikuwa anaongea kuwa ni ghetto children and find kwa school ambao ziko free. Those are minds of UDA people, watu ambao hawaelewi nini anasema. This last year exams ambazo zimefanyika, look at the schools ambazo zimepita mtihani. Most of them now is public schools, not even private, the public. I'm here in Mombasa. There's a school here in Mombasa in Mikindani. Shule inaitwa Amani Primary, and there's another school, a private school inaitwa St. Irene. St. Irene people pay a lot of money, huge amount of money, watoto wamepelekwa kule, but the government school, which is Amani, will perform better than that school. So there's no way we can compare. We just need a mechanism where it can be put a place na kila mtu aweze kufaidika. But this is wakati tumefight corruption, and this government is not fighting corruption. This government, in fact, it to fail from day one. It to fail. Now we don't see any promise in it. There's no future in it. I think we need to find another mechanism that will help us. But mambo ya bursary isiende kwa MPs. No, isiende kwa MPs account.
That is really true, that you've really identified that the major problem you're having is corruption. Even this thing to do with CDF, the major problem is corruption. So once corruption is fought, we can have everything, those free primary, we can have free Medicare. In fact, the role of the government, people should be asking themselves, what is the role of the government? The governments are normally put in place so that they can provide services. At the moment the government is not able to provide services, then they have got no reason of existing. A government exists to provide services to the citizens. We citizens, our role is to pay taxes. Why would we continue paying taxes when we don't get services? This thing, even back at the estate where you are staying, why would you be paying taxes and maybe the county government near you cannot even be able to collect the waste, cannot even be able to unlock these sewer lines? Why would you pay taxes if the government is not providing these services? Then we need to remain with our money and organize ourselves, build our own roads, build our own schools, because this money that the government is using is not their money. That money comes from our pocket. When you buy bread, you pay. If bread is right now it is almost, it's 60 or 70 shillings. The 16% that you pay over there, like that 10 shillings that is deducted, goes directly to the government. When you go to the you want to maybe do some business, you're selling other things, there's that fee that you have to pay. First of all, you get some license and everything. So why will we pay tax then we don't get the services? We need to get the services because we equally pay taxes. The government also borrows money on your behalf. When Ruto goes to Southern Korea, he uses you as a collateral to borrow money. And in case they will fail to pay that money, then it means this money is paid by us. So we need to ask the government that our money, I heard yesterday they collect like 7 billion per day. So if you are collecting 7 billion per day, we want to see this money paying teachers. We want to see this money building classrooms, and our children should just go and learn for free because they paid taxes. We can't keep on paying taxes and we don't get services. We can't keep on paying taxes and people are getting our money. But these people pay taxes and people are coming and telling you they're giving you some fuliza, some hustler fund, some funds that are no longer there. Yet this money is just going to individual people's pocket. They give you a loan, and this loan you pay the interest prior. Apart from the interest, they also tax it and tell you that is a savings. They take it before they even give you that money. Like you pay for this loan before even spending it, then they cannot even be able to account for it. I was told they are currently thinking of restructuring the hustler fund. So why would you start something after wasting like 10 billion, then you restructure it? So who will be held responsible for the first 10 billion that was dispatched? And who was given this 10 billion? No one is going to account for it. So it's just a scam that has come. And the Kenyans are just told that, okay, you see, we need to forget about it. Our own problem in Kenya is Raila. So that every time you wake up, they tell you your problem is Raila. Every time they go to church, they go to their meetings, they tell you your problem is Raila. So that you forget the real problem that you're having. Our problem in Kenya is not Raila. Our problem is in Kenya is corruption. And currently, the corrupt have got a government. We don't have corrupt people in the government, but the corrupt have got a government of their own. That is why when you see those people having corruption cases, their cases have been dropped and they've been given some luxurious positions at the national government. They're the ones heading our parastatals, and soon, not only soon, they're the ones also heading our judiciary. So the corrupt are having government. There's nothing you can do about it. They own the judiciary. They are in the parliament. They are in the executive. They are in our parastatals, and they're everywhere. When the president walks around and tells you we want to have one bar or one restaurant per constituency, we have to close all those other bars. It tells you we are having some of these people, the owner of the African Spirit, the one who had his case dropped. He wants to start. They're the only people who can operate these bars per constituency. A common hustler cannot have that money that can run a bar that will serve the entire constituency. So they are preparing people like Tabitha Karanja who will not pay taxes to be managing and running these bars. Na wewe hustler bado umekaa tu hapo unasema serikali ni ya mahasla. Serikali ni ya mahasla, huwezi afford unga, huwezi afford fuel ya kuweka kwa hiyo pikipiki yako. Saa hii huwezi afford kupeleka mtoto kwa shule. Hiyo pesa kidogo ulikuwa unalipa pia wameongeza, and you call yourself government ni hustler. Government sio ya hustler. Hatufai kuwa wajinga. We need to open up and say hii serikali sio ya hustler. Hustler tunatumiwa na watu wengine wana benefit. Hustlers wamekanyagwa tu mgongo tu na watu wengine ndio wanavuna wakienjoy. We should not allow that. We should not allow that. I don't know if Nancy, you do that one in Australia. I have some colleagues from Australia, and these guys really behave well, and they normally make me like that country. Yeah, like there's one I was having. He just went back recently, and she tells me there, even when you finish, you complete your school, you are guaranteed you are going to university. From your university, you are guaranteed you are going to get some work to do. And our Somali communities, most of them are they really find that place as their homes. I work with some of them, and most of them really tell me how it is enjoyable being there. And you people should always come and tell these Kenyans that things are possible outside here. Governments are doing great, and people are just paying tax the same way we pay tax in Kenya. And in fact, in those other countries, their tax is not kept high the way we are doing it in Kenya. They don't pay a lot of money. There is an organized manner of collecting your tax. In Kenya, we are being overtaxed. They tax you kununua mkati, they tax you sijui kununua mafuta. You'll find that one item for you to buy that bread umelipia tax mara tatu. Umechukua tax ukilipa transport ya kwenda kununua hiyo mkati, sijui tena umekuwa tax ukifanya nini. So it is too much. We are so overburdened, and now they want to take the only the little things that we are remaining with. We are not breathing. We are not breathing. So we should tell the government that we can't breathe, so that they allow us to breathe at least. Nancy, you can maybe pick it there.
Yeah, you say the truth. You cannot compare this country to any other. I've been to America. I can't go to America. I mean, I can't go back there. People think America is the best, but no. Australian is very strategic in everything they do. That's why it's so hard to get citizenship here or whatever, because they plan 100 years ahead. Like when COVID came, it was not a surprise. It was already in the plan for a pandemic, So everything was in place because they're expecting these pandemics. Everything was in place. Many people did not work, but they were being given, I think, 2,000 a month, and the rent, something with the rent was everything. If you had like debts or parking tickets or all these things, they were waived away. So you could survive with that 2,000 a month. If you're not in a critical area, you're not working, and most people here don't go to school. If you go to, like you, Leo, you can do very well here because I see you're very intelligent. Most lecturers are foreigners because they can survive without school. That's how it is. And they don't like going to school. They've tried to simplify school as much as possible, but still they see it as a task. So most people here are foreigners who do this professional job, and lecturers, like you find 99 of lecturers are foreigners, Kenyans. Kenyans are doing very well here, by the way. They discovered here and they flooded here. Everything is organized, and yeah, like school is free. Of course, you pay later. Most of the time you pay later, but it's not that much. It's not like that. To secondary school is free, but university, they'll give you like a loan, but you pay later. They cut it from but it also depends on how much you're making or how much your family is making and all those. Then, yeah, what else which other question did you ask?
I think that is what I wanted you to clarify to them as matter of education, and you really confirmed. I worked with, like even currently, where I am, I'm working with some some Somali Australians. So you call it Aussie, yeah? In there, I think you call it Aussie.
And there are many here, they flooded here after the war. There are so many here.
Actually,
Australians and Sudanese and Somalis, yeah.
Monambali is telling me he would really not want to live in Australia, maybe to play golf there. I don't know why he's saying that, but majority of people have interacted with it. They really enjoy the place because
they're ignorant. They're ignorant. If you've never been here, you can't know what you're missing out.
And it seems the education there is also left for the foreigners. Like foreign students are the ones who are pursuing these courses. Most of them are foreigners who are going to school the foreign kids. They are even given loan to go and study. I was surprised to see that. And I was surprised, like the community. I'm telling you, I have one of them. They come there, they do some things like home care. So they're the ones, some simple courses, and they make it out there. Some things that doesn't happen in Kenya. So Mwanambali, I don't know why.
And those home care, they make $30 an hour just cleaning people's, which in America they make, I think, $8 or 10. Of course, the currency is different, but here in Australia, you'll have more money in your pocket. Once, yeah.
I now get it. I now understand the source of why they really get a lot of money there. Even some small kids, when they come, they tell me, you see, no, they have money. They make money. I'll plan maybe before this year end. Actually, before this year end, I'm actually on my way there. We are having some sister organization there in Melbourne. So I'll plan and come and explore and see what is happening over there.
You'll see.
Yeah. I'll come to Victoria. Godfrey, you want to say something?
Although me, I'm in Perth, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Just to add something on what Nancy has said on the issue of COVID, most countries, they used to study with his people. I heard of America, kuna section ambao some people are being provided with food. Hiyo time ya lockdown. But look at the situation that was in Kenya. President Uhuru amefunga country, mtu business yake ilikuwa anafanya usiku, haiwezi fanya tena, but hata haangaliwi. Inabidi mtu alale njaa, amuke njaa mpaka anafanya vitu ambazo hazieleweki ili apate pesa. I think we need to organize ourselves as a nation to choose the leaders who their interest is just for the people of Mwananchi wa chini. Because when you say that we depend on these leaders ambao tunachukuliwa kwa sababu hao ndio wako karibu na our leaders, now we are going nowhere. Our country suffered a lot time ya COVID because ilitupata off guard. Na sasa tena hapo off guard tena Uhuru akawa anaongeza kila siku ni lockdown. And the country iliharibika na ikaharibika kabisa, economy ikaharibika. So right now we had people, Raila Odinga and his team had a well-planned manifesto ambayo ingetusaidia. But look at what happened. Wakachezwa, Victoria ikaibiwa. Sasa tumebaki sasa ni kungangana kuona vile back. But even taking back, I know it's a very hard task, but we need to do something. At least our country to party what we deserve. Because if we depend with this country, with this government, we will not receive anything that we deserve. Hii inaendelea kutugandamiza kila siku. Walisema wataingia uga ipungue. Ona watu wangapi wanalala njaa sasa hii. Hata wakiingia makateli watashikwa. Hata kateli moja hajaitajwa mpaka leo. So I don't know why was this guy lying to people. Yet alijua kabisa hawezi kuja kusaidia wa Kenya. I think we need to make up our minds and look at what we can do to change everything that is happening right now.
Yeah, walisema wakiweka Biblia chini the cartels. So what they did not tell you is when they placed that Bible down, wakaangalia nyuma, then they realized wenyewe ndio cartels. That is why nothing has been done. Wangepata huyo cartel sio how, I'm telling you, with the kind of drama that these guys are having, those people they call cartels sahi wangekuwa wamekiona. I'm sure these guys cannot sit there na wajue kitu. I think with the kind of drama that they are having, those people called cartels sahi hawangekuwa. That's why I don't believe these stories that Ruto comes to tell you each and every day that people wanted to kidnap Chebukati. The way they've really made Chebukati, praised Chebukati and made him to be the living Mekatilili wa Menza, the current Mau Mau, the only hero of our age. With all those praises, if it is true that people wanted to kidnap and maybe kill him the way they are claiming, those people would have been arrested with the drama. Their arrest ingekuwa broadcasted live. And as long as that one has not happened, it tells you that all these are propaganda. They are just stories that they are just making so that they can keep Kenyans forget about the real issues about economy. They were elected promising that they are going to better the economy. And because they've not been able to do that, they know Kenyans are going to start asking questions in economy. So they want to give you some stories that are going to keep you busy. Yesterday, if you listened to Jebukati when he was being grilled by this guy, this lawyer, Don Kipkorir, you will really realize that he opened his mouth and really confirmed that he really rigged the elections. He wasn't even sure of what he's saying. His consistency with the truth or with his statement was really wanting. And there is nothing he was defending there. He was just jumping from story to another story. He was so disorganized, and that one showed how he disorganized the election. But what I know, one of these fine days, somebody somewhere will have to pay for what he did to Kenyans. Bwana IG, sijui kama wewe ni Inspector General, umejaribu kuingia ukiondoka, unaingia ukiondoka. Now that you are in, can you say something before pengine ujiondoe? Just unmute yourself and proceed. Are you okay? Just speak. IG, you can speak. On IG, can you hear us? You okay? Just proceed and speak. Just speak. Oh, inspector bado ni kama inspector ni kama ako kwenye kikosi na anaangalia ni afande yupi ako karibu na yeye, wasimpige picha waseme huyu alienda kupiga serikali kwa TV na ni inspector mkubwa. Wacha tumtafutie na tumwachie nafasi, pengine aende kwa private room aweze kurudi tena.
Yeah, Leo, there's something I want to add on what you have talked about Chebukati. Just look at what happened yesterday when he was being interrogated. Akaulizwa tu swali rahisi kuwa by the time you had visitors, ulikuwa umejua mshindi ni nani? The guy said hakujua. Akaulizwa by that time nini ilikuwa imewekwa hii form 34C, ilikuwa imewekwa kwa portal. He was not able to answer the question. Anasema tu mimi kitambo naelewa form 34A zilikuwa kwa portal, form 34B zilikuwa kwa portal. And the guy with the narrative he was talking about alikuwa anaonyesha kuwa something fishy happened in the last election. Look at what Tuju told us last time when he was on the media. He told us that the time he decided to face Chebukati, there's something that he noticed happening at the Bomas, ambayo ilikuwa haiendi vizuri. Now he tried to reach some people at the Bomas whether to address the issue, but no one was able to address the issue. So he decided himself to go and see Chebukati, kumaddress, kumambia there's something happening wrong, and address that issue. On the way to the office, alikutana na watu wa UDA wakitoka kwa hiyo ofisi. Why are these people not telling us what they were discussing with the people of UDA? Wamekazana tu na watu wa Azimio. And yet wanakazana na Azimio, wanasema Azimio wanted to bribe them. And I know very well that the situation how it was, hakuna vile wanaweza anza kuongea mambo ya bribery, yet commission wote walikuwa wameketi pale na watu Azimio pale walikuwa wameketi pale. There's no way wanaweza anza kuongea mambo ya bribery. So these people, they should come out and tell us what was the conversation between them na watu wa UDA ambao walitoka pale ndani before kina Tuju waingie pale ndani. Chebukati alitumesi kabisa.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at that video. I'll play it shortly. You'll find that Chebukati, he was just confused. So maybe as I'm getting it ready, maybe Nancy, I don't know if you followed the proceedings yesterday, and maybe which conclusions were you able to draw from what was happening yesterday? Because it's like Chebukati knew very well that he's going to face this tribunal, and I'm quite sure he was making some preparations as far as defending himself and defending the fraud is concerned. But during the grilling, it came out vividly that despite the fact that he'd taken those months preparing to go and defend the lie could no longer be defended. So does it mean that Kenyans are already knowing the truth there? Does it mean that however much they are trying to defend the lies, it's not going to be covered and we'll finally have to get to the bottom and know what really happened? Even for the issue of the server, he went with the same belief of Ruto, whereby Ruto was telling us that the server is the portal. When he was asked, he was saying that, oh, the server was opened and everything was in the portal. So does it mean they don't know the difference between the server that people are asking for and the portal? Because it is clear we people were only able to view what was in the portal, but the source of this information, which is in the server, no one was given access to it. So there's no way they're telling us the server was open when the only thing we will be able to get was what has already been fed in the portals. And he also admitted that there are some information in the portal that has been brought down and cannot be accessed now. Why are they doing so?
Oh, okay. I just watched part of it because I just watched the snippets that were being posted on Tembe TV because I don't trust anything this government does under this government. So I just thought it's going to be a waste of time. But I was surprised he looked confused, and I just saw a nervous person who is thinking before talking. You know, every time someone thinks before saying something, he's thinking of what to lie, you know. And I just saw someone confused, like amepigwa na butua. And that Kipkorir guy, I was surprised. I thought, is he a Ruto man or is he Azimio? Or he's
Kipkorir
neutral?
is not a Ruto man. I've never been. Kipkorir is one lawyer who've always been standing with the truth. Among the few lawyers that I know, he doesn't just defend people for the sake of money. He will always represent the part that is standing with the truth. And in most of his cases, if you do follow, I think he's one of the most expensive lawyers that we have in the country. And he hardly loses his cases. He's not frequently known because he doesn't rush for cases like the Cliff Obati, who just waits for these criminal cases. He doesn't defend criminals, in other words. He's one great man, one great supporter of Raila, and he's always been accused. He's the opposite of somebody called Grand Mullah, the Nasir, Abdullahi. So as Abdullahi was working for Ruto, he's always been working for Azimio and Baba.
Okay, yeah, I was surprised because I thought he did a good job, and from the name Kipkorir, I thought he was not going to do a good job, you know. And yeah, I was surprised and happy from the small snippets I saw. And the thing that really surprised me, at which he wrote handwritten. Handwritten? How can you write something official handwritten? That's illegal. You know, Kenya is a joke. You can't do such
No,
things
those are the
anywhere
figures.
else.
Those
Huh?
are the figures that were cooked. Those are the figures that were cooked that he was going to read. Sasa hangekuja na direct document, he had his own document. That's why you see there's a clip whereby they were arguing in the office with the Kina Nini, Ole Kina. They were arguing, asking, show us the really document that you have that you want to go to and announce the same results. But he could not show them because he had documents that are adopted. You know, we are told that the guy who you Gulie had us from 34C that he brought it to Chebukati. But on the same process, he had another 10 papers that he issued to those other commissioners, and they were now discussing. Somebody has a booklet of around 450 pages, and he's discussing with the people who are only given 30 pages. So how will they come to an agreement with such a situation? So huyu ni mtu alikuwa amekupa results zake ajui zimetoka wapi, amekuja hata kusomea watu. That's why kulikuwa na hizo shida. And that's why he was only ask her one question with Kipkorir and told, what do you understand by the word majority? So alishindwa kujibu what is majority. And unanimous. He was not able to answer
Maybe before we comment on that, let me just play that video. I think I have one on his grilling.
When you had the issue of the materials at the airport, when they were seized, the materials, the election materials, and somewhat it was resolved. It didn't have a role in the resolution of the. Okay. Let me ask a blunt question: did you meet the president to resolve the issue?
On which materials?
When they were seized at the airport from those, what is it, Venezuelans or what? There was some material seized at the airport, which was public knowledge.
Yes.
Did you meet the president to resolve it?
No, I didn't meet the president, but the issue was resolved.
When the Venezuelans were arrested, the president?
During that time?
Yes.
When?
The Venezuelans were arrested.
No, I did not meet the president.
Did you talk to him?
No, I didn't talk to the president.
And the material was seized, did you talk to him?
No.
But they were somewhat resolved.
I spoke with the Director of Criminal Investigations and the Inspector General of Police on those issues.
As I say again,
The-
Chairman,
the-
all this is one day will come out, how it was done. But for now, we'll just leave it like that. When did you know, at what point did you know the results were out, were ready to be announced?
At what point?
Yes, what time of the day?
What time, when Marjan brought them, I can't tell
So
the
this
exact time, but
so
it was
about 4
around, maybe around 4 p.m. or thereabouts.
So this was 15 August. 15 of August.
Yes, 15th
Yeah.
of August.
When did you send out invites? With what date?
The invites
To
for
the-
declaration was...
No.
Yeah.
To the presidential candidates, to either both or one of them, to attend the results.
I think that was done in the morning when we had finished with the verification and tallying. Then we invited them to come at 3, hoping that we've gone through all the other processes by then.
My information, Chairman, and I've seen the documents that you can send invites on 12th of August. Can you remember?
Sorry, I didn't
You
get
send
it.
invites on 12th of August.
I don't think that's true. The invites must be dated. If they're here, you can
You
show
gave
me the
approval
one.
on your
You can
approval
show
was
me
12th
the
of
one you are
August.
referring to.
You gave approval on 12th of August.
So that is Wafula Chebukati struggling to answer questions and respond to simple questions that he was being asked. So I still don't think there is somebody who still doubts that the elections were really bungled and the will of the people was overturned, because it is evident from what you can see there. It is really evident that these guys cooked their own figures, came out, deceived Kenyans, and now they are the ones who are shouting out there, telling us how they wanted to be kidnapped, when they cannot even tell us those people who wanted them to be kidnapped. Yet they are the ones who are currently controlling the government. So I don't know what stops them from arresting those people and letting the law take its course and these guys be charged in a court of law. As long as they've not done that, I think they're just rumor mongers who want to divert our attention. But it's good. We've not yet given up on seeking the truth, and soon, very soon, somebody will have to pay for what happened. Mr. IG, I don't know what is wrong with you, because I keep on adding you and you are leaving. I'm adding you and you are dropping. Nancy, you can maybe proceed as we wait for this IG, if he will be able to configure well.
Yeah, Jebukati, you could see if you ask a question, what? Even me, I've done psychology. I did that in Kenya before I came here. I know. At what? That what? Where? At the airport? That gives you time to think. Meet who? Meet the president. You know, that's giving him time to think. And who allowed that Kip Korir to come? I'm surprised Ruto allowed him.
Sorry?
Who allowed that Kip Korir there? Is it Ruto?
The one who is no Kip Korir is the lawyer.
Yes.
Is representing the
Raila.
other. No, that's Herrera. The other one, how do you call him? There's this one who did not. Is it Masit?
Okay, all right, I get it. So it's not because Ruto
yeah,
cannot allow such a person.
Yeah, he can't.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he's the one who reduced. There was this man. He's called, I don't know who. This one who normally calls himself an expert and lawyer and everything. He's the one who shut him down, and we realized that guy is clueless. He doesn't know anything. Mtumbi, yeah, somebody like that. So, and he told Masit not to resign, and I know finally he's going to unearth the truth, and the people are going to know the truth. And in this tribunal, however predetermined it is, Korir is likely to surprise people by exposing these people and getting away and ensuring that lady goes back to work. And we know that one will also lead to a further consideration of the other people, Cherera and the ones who resigned. So he said he's not going to allow his client to resign. They are going to fight until the truth is known. IG, are you able to configure? IG, IG, you can speak. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what IG is doing. Godfrey, you can continue. Is IG really here, or is capturing? Is getting some data?
Yeah, he's around. I think the problem is just the phone. I think he's using the phone. Na sasa network imekataa kuconnect. I think ndo anasumbuka hivyo. Because sometimes when you use the phone kwa kunakuwa na shida ya connection. Utaona tu kama network, unaona ni kama yuko hayuko. That's the problem with the phones. But what I can just add on the issue of Chebukati, I think hata ukiangalia that clip when imekuwa, this is a guy who knew what was happening. Look at their answers. Mwangalia Chebukati, angalia Hussein, angalia Hussein Majuana, angalia huyo Gulie. And they are answering the questions almost the same. Yani ni kama watu ambao waliketi chini wakapanga, utakuwa na jibu hivi, ukiuliza utakuwa na jibu hivi. Lakini sasa unapata somebody like Koril is somebody who knows what he's doing. Anajaribu kuwa challenge mpaka unapata mtu anajipata amebaki peke yake. Issue ya this conmen, our kina Venezuelans, the criminal that were caught. These guys were caught entering Kenya. Some of them wakiwa na expired passports. You see, but the first person to rise up akaanza kupiga kelele alikuwa ni Chebukati na huyu Ruto. In fact, Ruto went ahead akaanza kuambia Uhuru kwa wewe usinijaribu, bora tu si watoto wangu on the same issue. Na hawa wakora, hawa Chebukawa Venezuela sio walifanya akaanza kwa hivyo, anakuwa mkali sana kwa Uhuru. Yet they knew, they had planned these things. So hakuna kitu tunaweza sema maybe at the election were free and fair. No, they were not free and fair. These guys, they knew what happened. And that's why watu waliamua kupatiana tender au Smartmatic, because Smartmatic ni watu ambao wamejulikana in the whole world kuwa ni wakora, hawapeani free and fair, but they went ahead, issued the tender na ndio wakakuja kutusimamia. So watu sijui tutafanyaje, but I just praying that somebody should take them to Hague. Hapa Kenya we cannot prosecute them because the government imeshika tayari court. Hata tukisema tunapeleka Chebukati, atashikwa leo, jioni atakuwa ameshatolewa ama kesho atakuwa shatoka. Hakuna justice tutapata. Sasa ni mtu anafaa pelekwe nje kama Hague. At least we crucify him, achinjwe kabisa, asionekane kwa hii Kenya. Because I mess up our country.
Michael Gige, you're really surprised that the presidential results were handwritten, not printed. Yeah, that one was confirmed by Chebukati. If it was handwritten, it simply means that it was easy to manipulate. And there's a question that people have been asking in this show. And to some people, it normally maybe sounds ignorant question, but I think that question is worthy. People have been asking, why is it that they were only handed over one certificate? Because we've witnessed elections results not only once. It's something that has been happening, and we've always seen ever since we had the 2010 constitution that made it a constitution that the president must have a running mate, different from what we used to have before, whereby you are just elected president, then you sit down and appoint your vice president as you're appointing the cabinet. What has been happening is that as the president is being handed over the certificate, the deputy president is always handed over a similar one. But in this case, we had only one certificate. Does it mean that Ruto and Gachagua were all elected to be presidents? Or does it mean we had two presidents? Because even in exam, we do have people tying. So they'll all be number one or number two. And in this case, we only saw one certificate being issued. People have been asking that, and some have been bashing us, saying, oh, that is an ignorant question. What? Why did they have to share the certificate? couldn't they just take time? I think printing these things doesn't even take 5 minutes. Or couldn't they just be able to print one and write, this is Gachagua, duly elected deputy president, this is William Ruto, duly elected president? So they were in a hurry, and these things were just handwritten, and because they were running out of time, and they didn't want people to scrutinize what was taking place, I think that is why they decided to go that way, to issue only one certificate that was handwritten. So it's so sad, and it's a sad situation there. Yes, Godfrey.
Yeah, just to add something on the same certificate, look at the timing. Anasema alipewa results saa 10 jioni ndio alipata results, yet we had one extra day. What was the hurry for them to go and announce the results? Mbona hakungojea wakae chini wapange kila kitu vizuri ndio wakuja peane? The situation yenyewe ilijitokeza kuwa we had something wrong that was happening. That's why they were in hurry to announce the results. Those results were not authentic. Na sasa kitu ambacho tuna push, they should open the servers. Let us see exactly what happened, and then we fight on.
Yeah, Nancy, I think there is somebody who is also having some concern. So maybe as you talk, you can also respond. I think you've seen it. Somebody, Victor Juma, addressing you somewhere there. And you can also tell them maybe if there are some, unfortunately. But Juma, if you normally keep it here, I think if you join the studio, you can always be able to share contact and get to know when such opportunities arise. I know when Nancy will be back, or maybe she'll respond to you through the chat there, or when she'll be back, she'll be able to give a response to that and maybe give you a proper guidance. So Kenya, we are really losing it big. We not only lost Magoha, but we are really losing it big. And because we are paying tribute to a lost hero, we are... All right, Nancy is back, huh?
Yeah, I think I pressed something wrong. I got out.
You can proceed.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I just saw his whatever, but yeah, I don't know how I can get him so that, yeah, I saw his course is not so, it's much needed here. It's a medical course. So, yeah.
Maybe I can advise him, Victor, there is a link that I'm sharing there. You can click the link and you join the studio. So from the studio, you'll be able maybe to share your contacts and reach out for maybe further direction and guidance. So let me just join the studio. You'll be able to get in touch.
Yeah.
Leo, there's a guy called Abu Fiat. Just ask him, Magoha death have been political. You know, we cannot explain because we don't know what the cause exactly what happened to Magoha. But I think what we can tell him, the exact thing that we know, the death of Musando ni government ilimuua. Hiyo hatuwezi ficha because you know exactly government iliua Musando. But about Magoha, we cannot speculate.
Now for Magoha, no, we should not speculate. I think it was explained, and also based on his body size. You people, if you do see people in public, there are things that you can be able to tell. You don't need much explanation. However, Magoha is a huge man, so if they talk of cardiac arrest, those people with experience can easily tell and tell you there is a possibility of that. Though in Africa, we are normally used to coming up with is once somebody have died, because in Africa they normally say somebody doesn't just die like that. We always have to come up with theories. which is not, it is not bad, and it's part of our culture. As maybe white men or some people do the post-mortem to determine the real cause of death, maybe, and explain it in a health perspective. We as Africans will always also, we will also want to resort to our traditional beliefs and try to do our post-mortem once somebody have died, and our post-mortem is normally not scientific. We normally try to bring up some stories. So it is an African culture that we can't wish away. So we allow people to do that. Though if we speak as a matter of reality, we don't need to speculate anything. You know, we have death. Death is there. It is inevitable. It can find you in either way. You can't be speaking today, then in the next minute, you are no more because of one reason or the other. But that one does not stop people from practicing their cultural belief. So for those who believe culturally that deaths are never normal and there must be some controversy behind it, they are also at liberty to explore that line of thought. That is also allowed. Or you can see Christopher Kidega is just joining us all the way from, I think, Kampala. So we normally like it when you people join this show. We learn a lot from you. At the same time, you people also learn a lot from us. We'll one day be happy to hear you people saying that, you see, it is through that Mutembei show that it made us to end the dictatorial rule in Uganda. The same is said, history records of several people. I think in Uganda, you'll remind me, I'm not pretty sure of the name. There's this soldier who helped several countries in Africa to gain their independence. Specifically, I think Zanzibar or what. I don't know if it was Okello or there's one guy, or Robote. Since you know it better, kindly do remind me of that. The same is also said how other countries, African countries that got independence before the others, pulled together and enabled other people get independence. Maybe this talk that we do have here will also be celebrated as one thing that in one way or the other is going to help in liberating the East African countries. And as we normally say, currently we are one country. I'm not a Kenyan, but when I go outside there, I'm an Eastern African. That is why we have the same passport. My passport and your passport is similar. I check on it and I see there it's even written the Eastern African community. So I no longer have that passport that we used to have, the blue one for Kenya. And that one enables me when I visit Uganda, I do enjoy getting that stamp without somebody asking me for the visa. So we welcome you as a family. So karibu. In Kenya we say karibu. I don't know how you say it in Uganda. I've worked with some guys. There are so many Ugandans in Somalia. I work with some guys. They are running some schools here because they believe their English is it sounds like the British English. So when these guys speak here, they are teaching in some schools here. So when you try to speak in that order, they normally tell you that the Ugandans are the ones who copied the British English directly. Karibu.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. I'm glad to be in this group. I can see we are like 4. Someone is there, the name Nancy. Someone is there. Some are very small, tiny letters. I hardly could read them. Thank you, Bernard. This is a good forum that is very educative, though very few love to listen to such a debate, which is very vital for our life as in current day. We are very sorry for the death of the Magoha, George. You see, people always die, but
We are losing your audio, Bwana Christopher. Yeah? I think you'll just reconnect it and come back. Maybe it is an internet issue. I understand. You know, those ones who are in Uganda, for your information, they are still using 3G. Yeah? You know, in Kenya, we are much ahead. That is why when somebody tells me in Kenya we cannot implement free primary education, I feel bad. We are ahead. Kenya is the SI unit that they currently use in Eastern Africa. And soon Kenya is going to be the capital of Africa. If we had continued with the spirit that Uhuru Kenyatta started, imagine currently countries from Western Africa are bringing their soldiers to train in our military academy, the one that was built by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Imagine countries in the Southern Africa are buying small guns that are made in our own Ruiru. So just imagine such. So these Africans will no longer be going to Western countries to buy these small guns. They can get it here in Kenya. So Kenya is really ahead. If you see Christopher struggling maybe to join, they're still using 3G. In Kenya, we are already using 5G. And maybe if 6G is there, they'll have to launch it in Kenya before they launch it in any other country in Eastern Africa. So we have to appreciate that Kenyans are really bright, Kenyans are really hardworking, Kenyans are really determined. The only problem that we have in Kenya is few individuals who are corrupt, who feel they're the ones who are entitled to benefit, but other Kenyans are not entitled. The people who feel they are the only ones who are supposed to come from poor background and become somebody, while they don't want others to benefit. They just want to mention to you how you are poor, but they don't want you to join the league. That is a problem that Kenyans have been having. Kenyans are really intelligent, and that is why we've always proved to the world that we can stand and oppose that which is wrong. Had we not been that courageous, I'm telling you, Kenya will not be a country by now. But it is the braveness of Kenya that always enables this country to move forward. And I know moving forward, like currently, even this Kenya Kwanza regime that think they want to take us back to the KANU and reverse every great gain that Kenyans have realized in the last 20 or so years, we are going to stand and tell them, no, we are not moving backwards. Instead, we are moving forward. And that is why even you cannot lie to Kenyans. You lie to them, but after some time, they come to realize. If you go outside there, those people who voted for Kenya Kwanza are the ones who are telling you that, no, things are not right. We need to make them right. If you watched the kind of reception at that meeting that was given a short notice, a 24-hour notice, people were able to turn out to communicate and to portray or paint a picture that we are not having hope in the government, and these people you are calling opposition are the ones that we believe can drive us in the right way. They were really running and leaning and telling Baba that, look, we don't have hope over there, but here is where there is hope. So can you kindly lead us in that way? And that is what is going to happen. Godfrey, yeah? You can.
Yeah, you know, in Kenya right now, watu wengi wamechoka sana. Life's hard, economy is bad. Sasa hata kuna kama the last meeting that we had the Raila at Kamkunji. Look at how people were. Watu walikuwa yani wamechoka. Wanasema no Ruto, yani hawataki Ruto kabisa. Kwa sababu gani? Maisha yao imeharibika. Ruto lied to them. Ruto came with a lot of package saying that he will stand with the mwananchi wa chini. He will stand with bodaboda. Sijaona bodaboda yote ameinuliwa na mtu. He said he will stand with the mama mboga. What I saw ni hii tu mambo yao ya uongo. Hii inaitwa ngaje, hii hustle fund. Hustle fund yenyewe wanapewa leo, after one day anaanza kutumia atulipe, na kituma ameongeza cents. Akituma ameongeza cents. By the time inafika 14 days, you are paying 500 plus. You are not paying exact 500, but you're paying 500 plus. Alidanganya watu mtu. So I think right now we just need to wake up. As the way you have just said, Kenya, we have a lot of potential. Hata tu kwa our interior areas, we have a lot of potential. Ni sisi tu wenyewe tusimame tukatae corruption, kwa sababu corruption ina let down. Na corruption inaleta na wakora ambao tunachukua hao watu ambao tunachagua kama leaders ambao tunasema wako karibu. Ujue those people they come close to our leader, alafu wanajifanya hao ndio die hard wake, hao ndio watu ambao wanakuja kumfightia, but at the moment tu anapata, kama ni MP amepata tayari anatoroka. Kama sahi most of them wametuacha tuko peke yetu. Hata in parliament you cannot hear one fighting for us. Utapata out of 10 only one person for Mazimio ndo anapigania wananchi wa kawaida. Wengine wote wana agree na watu wa Ruto wanasema, and yet Ruto is not taking us anywhere. Kwa government yote ya Ruto, those people they are opposing even everything, that small thing that ingesaidia mwananchi, still they are opposing kwa sababu wana oppose for the sake of it. They don't see what will happen after it. How bora oppose. So let us work hard to remove these people to lead us. Our tusiruhusu wakatu lead. We just need to work hard and remove them. But to remove them, let's see what Baba will tell us on Jacaranda on Sunday, because I don't know what he's coming to tell us, but I think we need to listen to him. He has already given us direction. So we need to fight with him, because I know watu tulikuwa wamesema mwanzo, si rahisi kuchukua ile kitu ambacho tumenyang'anywa, but we need to fight. Na I'm sure akipata watu ambao atenda nao, we will receive our victory back. Tusiwache wakaendelea nao hivyo, kwa sababu tukiwacha hivyo hata 2017 there's no need to vote in 2027. Exactly things that happened on December, on October, August last year, that's the same thing that will happen in 2027. So lazima tuwe macho and resist everything ambao wanatudanganya nazo.
Oh, sorry, Godfrey. I get you. Ken is saying that Kenyan economy is the largest in East Africa. Moving forward, if Kenya stops importing things we produce and tax more on imports, Kenya's GDP will be 3 times bigger within 7 years. Ken, I agree with you fully. Our economy is the largest in Eastern Africa. Then how do we ensure that this economy keeps on growing? So the major way of ensuring that the economy keeps on growing is we reduce the imports and produce enough that we can export. Through that, we are going to earn some foreign exchange. Currently, if you look at the value of Kenyan shillings versus the dollar, our shilling has lost value. Initially, I think by last year, it was around 113 versus $1, but currently, if you look at the exchange, it is $1 versus 124, 123, that is US dollar. So it tells you that our money, our currency has dropped globally. What make this one is now going to make it hard even for those business women and men who are importing, because they'll have to use more Kenyan shillings in order to get the dollar, which is generally used in exchanging or buying goods in the global market. So that's the situation we are in. How is this one happening? Because we no longer export, but we are just importing. We are just using dollars, but we are not earning dollars. That is what is making our currency to lose value currently. So if the president, instead of empowering those people who are engaged to grow some maize and export this maize, he is now thinking and calling some inductions to convince the MPs to allow us import GMO. So that would mean we are still going to be using dollars instead of receiving dollars, and our money or our value is going to depreciate day after the other one. And this one is what is going to interfere and hurt our economy. It is not going to grow. We are having our police uniform being produced by the NYS and the Kitui, whatever. But now we want to introduce the blue one, which is going to be imported from China. So how is this one going to help our economy to grow? We cannot be importing and expect our economy to grow. We need to produce. And if you read the Azimio manifesto, they placed it there clearly. They were having a vision of having each and every county having a project, a product. For example, if we say Kitui, nyinyi mkuwe na maembe na nyinyi ndio mtakuwa mna produce the juice that we are taking, ama soda. We go to Kiambu, we tell them nyinyi mtakuwa mnatoa kahawa. We go to Kericho, we tell them majani chai. We go to Meru and Embu, we tell them we'll be getting miraa, and we'll even be having miraa juice, so that wale wenye wana meno who cannot chew miraa can be able to drink some juice from miraa juice. We go to Kisii, we tell them we want you people to concentrate on banana, and we are going to have the banana product. Yeah. So that is what Azimio really dreamt of. But what we are having currently is a government that thinks of importing and privatizing. Korea is currently looking for private investors who can take over our universities. So doesn't mean the cost of education is going to be raised. Who will be able to afford the private university if you are not even able to afford the private primary school? So that is the problem that we are having, Ken. So we need to get somebody with the same thinking of yours, that we need to stop importing things. We need to produce things and tax more on the imports. We should discourage importing so that it should be expensive to import. By that, we are going to encourage our local industries. Those clothes that we buy, Bana Godfrey, as Mutumba, those clothes come from Kenya. If you go to EPZ in Babadogo, they're the ones who are making these Levi's jeans and whatever that you see, they're made there. After that, what happens? They get shipped. The wazungus wanaenda wanavaa. After putting them on, what happens? They have to bring it back and sell it, dump it back here, because we are the ones who took it to them and sell it to us as Mutumba. And we are really happy when somebody was talking about banning the Mutumba, so that we can encourage people to buy it locally. We think that what comes abroad is better, forgetting that these things were designed and made in our own country. There's somebody who thinks that these things are made there. These things, the jeans that we see, these brand that you run to buy, the Boss and whatever, they are made here. EPZ is in Babadogo there. Visit that place. See how Kenyans are making these things. So why can't we consume them? Why can't we lower the cost of production so that you don't wait to buy a polo that has been worn by a European? You can just buy that polo and be the first person to put it on. It will also make us more dignified than we are currently. You get it, eh?
Even here in Mombasa, we have a lot of episodes ambao wanatengeneza hizi nguo, and they're all imported out, they're exported outside Kenya. Oje, hii ilikuwa ni propaganda ya nini, ya UDA. And I think there's a time I remember this guy, huyu jamaa shida miguyu, napenda kusahau jina yake sana. This cabinet minister, huyu mwana shida miguu. He talked about the same thing also. There's a time that he started talking about mambo ya kuchoma mambo ya nini, mambo ya hizi mitumba, and it raised a lot of concern with Kenyans. Baadaye akakuja akawithdraw the statement. But I think we need to fight for our own lives as Kenyans, because we have everything that we need and everything we can do it, only that the government is letting us down. Hii government ya Ruto haifai. Mtu alidanganya watu, na Kenya they just need to rise up na wakatae mambo ya Ruto, because Ruto amedwell kwa uongo sana. He's a person who is full of propaganda. Sasa everything anaongea against. Everything that he does is always against the mwananchi wa kawaida. Alafu anadanganya watu kwa economy itakuja kuwa sawa baadaye. There's no time. We have given him more than 4 months right now. It's almost 4 months. But we don't see anything that give us courage kwa mtu akona kitu atafanya. Every day akisimama, things that he's trying to do, the project that he's trying to raise up, ni vitu ambazo hata hazisaidia mwananchi wa chini. Look at hizi vitu za anasema sijui housing, sijui what housing. Those are the things that hazitasaidia mwananchi wa Kenya sahi. Sahi watu wengi wamekosa pesa. Watu wengi wamekosa kazi. So the thing that he could have been doing right now ni kuangalia mwananchi wa kawaida atasurvive vipi. Why was he removing the subsidy ambayo ingesaidia mwananchi wa chini? Why was he in a hurry kutoa vitu kama hizo? Yet the government ndio inafaa isimame na isaidie wananchi ambao hawana kitu. Sasa wananchi wengi hawana kazi. Not every person is working in Kenya. In fact, a big number of Kenyans hawana kazi. So it is the government to come in na isaidia wananchi wa chini, na kusaidia is by using those subsidies. Iweke subsidies at least watu waweze kugawamia maisha yao. Without subsidy, obvious poverty itakuwa juu kwa watu wa Kenya na hawataweza hii maisha venye imeka. Sasa economy in the whole world iko down, na kama Kenya government iweze tusaidia, then there's nowhere we are going. Nembo tunaona Chris amekuja, maybe Chris kama ataongea kitu.
Right, all right, Christopher, I can see you're back. I think your internet is now operational. Yeah, I know you people are still using 3G. That is why you're having problems in connecting. Meanwhile, welcome.
Yes, no, it was when somebody calls, that is why it is good at night. Once there is incoming call, it cuts what we are on. That is what happened. So we were on. I was on the other point of the the passed on Magoha. So really very sorry for that. Very, yeah, you know, like such a person, really, he was being a very good participant in the government as far as education are concerned. And then I know there are a lot of changes. Maybe he was not been there. Also, someone changed him. They replaced him with another. That one is another blow for him. It can be a shock in his life. It can lay somebody's life off. That is where I got you when you are saying, let's find out what killed a person. In some tribe, they do like that. So this could be the reason why the guy, the big man, passed on. So we are very sorry for that. We mourn him. Apparently, this issue of the government running 4 months so far down the drain, nothing good. If you could hear them the way they talk, like the last in the other burial, the Gachagua, the Wu people talk like children. You know, when a government doesn't talk like that, a government participant, that is the president. They are the one leading the nation. You can't talk like that. The best word is rather keep quiet if you don't know, or give yourself some pardoning. And then you say, I will get back to you on these issues. But you don't brag. Other tribes, they brag so badly to the extent that their body language can speak for themselves, which is not good for a leader. We have a lot to discuss and share in these things so that people learn. Here we said, add your page, the brain. If you have 1 page, you need to add to the next one. That is, how do you add it? You listen, you source for it, get to knowledge, get to know what it takes in all what is taking place. So I would love if everyone were on this platform and they are listening. It's like, what will happen tomorrow? Every left and right people are crying, not only in that country, even up to Uganda here. Seriously. Platform everywhere. If you go there, you hear people what they are discussing. The discussion is just overwhelmed with a lot of problems. So what are we East Africa countries doing? The leaders, the right leaders, they are left out by the cartel. The right leaders, I'm telling you, like the Baba, they are there. Is the one who can, if he sit in that chair, the whole of Africa will change. Trust me. So I would love, because that country is still, if people could march to the State House, even told that 8,170 something 300 is the right votes that were cast for Baba. People marched to State House, and then was it in Venezuela or somewhere there? People marched to the Prime Minister's place. Did he live there? He ran away, and that is what should take place in Kenya and restore, because it's the time, really. Thank you.
Thank you. I've just read something interesting, and in response to what Ken was saying concerning our economy, I've just read that IMF projects that Angola and Ethiopian economies is going to overtake Kenya. Imagine our economies have been ahead of Ethiopia and Angola, and this one have just reminded me that Ruto told us bottom up. Maybe they want us to go bottom is when they start coming up, because we are heading there. We are going bottom first. He said bottom up, and he forgot that Kenya was already up there. So maybe his plan is to pull us back so that his dream is achieved or his philosophy is realized. He pulls us at the bottom, then he starts from the bottom. Si aliwaambia tuanze hapa chini. So he's taking Kenyans chini ndio aanzie hapo. Let's imagine IMF is projecting that Angola and Ethiopia's economy is going to overtake us, and the new Sakayo, the tax collector in town, keeps on telling us that we need to pay tax, we need to pay tax. You can only pay tax if you're having some income or you're having some produce. How do we pay tax and there is no income? Where is this tax going to come from? Are we going to pay tax out of the money that we've not earned? Are we going to pay tax out of the savings? And they've even done it for the ones who are saving with the circles. Instead of the 5% that the government has been taking from your dividends and your interest, the government is going to take 15%. So we already overburdened. We already overwhelmed with this tax. But tax is as good as paid when you get the value for the tax that you pay. We can't pay tax each and every year, but we are not getting the value of our taxes. We pay tax daily, but the government is not doing anything positive with that tax. That tax is instead used to undermine our sovereignty by bribing people like Chebukati and still keeping them at the center or at the sphere of influence to ensure that Kenyans are forever silenced. So we cannot afford to do that. And I was glad that when Raila spoke, he touched on the punitive taxation. And soon Kenyans are not going to pay tax unless we are convinced that our taxes are being used in the right way. We cannot be paying taxes to enrich few people who doesn't have Kenya at their heart. 7 Kenyan golden girls. I don't know how many girls are you. There are 7 Kenyan golden girls. This media here is not about fame or is not about making money. This media here, Mutembei, is about enlightening Kenyans and giving Kenyans opportunity to air their views freely and share their experiences, giving opinions and options on how alternative government can be run. And that is the only difference that we have with the mainstream media, whereby here anybody is allowed to come and share their views. If today you want to join the mainstream media, you have first of all pay for you to go and be interviewed. You have to be paid to go and give government advice. But here it is not the same. This is an international channel that brings all Kenyans from wherever they are, and those people who believe in the Kenyan dream and believe that together we can struggle and realize a better dream for Africa. So everybody is normally allowed here, irrespective of where you come from or a language you speak, as long as you have a common language that people who are following can be able to understand you. And that is why specifically we use Swahili and English, because those are the language that majority can understand. So when you are talking of the media, don't confuse this one with the other mainstream medias who are out there to make a business. There are some shows outside there, I don't want to mention them. Even for you to be able to contribute and comment there, you have to do a monetary subscription, whereby I think you have to pay a certain amount for your comment to be able to appear there. You have to register to be a member. But here you can just join as long as you've subscribed, which is free. You can even join and you just join and start commenting immediately. I once joined a certain live show and I was not able to comment. When I was trying to comment, I was told to choose the type of subscription I have in terms of the monetary value. But in Mutembei TV, doesn't happen. As long as you have your internet and you have your time, you can join, comment, join the studio, be in the comment section. We don't choose those people who join the studio. As long as you have something that you want to pass out, even if you just want to pass greetings, you will be given that opportunity so that your opinion can be heard. And every opinion here counts. And this is where the government currently gets opinion. And this is the channel that has really ensured that democracy is expanded in the country. We will not be hearing of the Bunge la Wananchi because the mainstream media have really not given them space. But Mutembei TV has made us know how powerful these bunges are. up to the point that today the Bunge la Wananchi can hold a demonstration in town and address the government and call the government to address them. It has never happened before because they were given media blackout. So we have to thank Mtembei TV for considering wananchi wa kawaida whose opinion are nowadays listened to. People don't watch the mainstream media. If you want news, unaenda kwa Mtembei, utasikia ni nini lifanyika Homa Bay, wale hasla wa Turkana wanafanya nini na wanasema nini. That is what we normally do here. So as Victor is configuring, maybe Victor, if maybe you are ready, you can proceed.
Before Victor says anything.
Okay, you can proceed.
Okay, I want to add something on what Chris said. You know, in Kenya, we have been painted as people. In fact, like, let me talk about. Okay, can you mute for just a minute? Juma, can you mute for just a minute?
Mr. Victor, just mute a minute, then I'll give you time, then you'll have to unmute yourself and speak. So just mute. Huh?
Okay, Chris, something to say. Okay, what I was saying is that
Victor, mute yourself. Yeah, continue.
Okay, what I was saying, Kidega, you know, in Kenya, mostly like the supporters of Raila, you have been painted as people who are so arrogant, people who like riots, wanapenda fujo sana. But look at what happened last. It was this meeting of Kamkunji. Hatukuwa na polisi wa kutusumbua. The very time Odinga came in Kenya, angalia vile alitoka pale airport. We were peaceful. We walked around Nairobi peacefully until tukafika Kamkunji. There's nothing wrong. Na hatujakuwa na makonmen ama wakora ambao wanasema kuwa tunakuja kuvunja vitu. Let us look back at what have been happening. Wakati tunatoka airport tukija, like in 2017, look at what police were doing. Hata tujafanya kitu chochote, wameanza kupiga watu marisasi. Wameanza kutupa tear gas. Sasa inafanya watu wanakuwa na shida. Mpaka wanaonekana kwa watu wanafuja, lakini hakuna, there's no day, even a single day ambao mtu wa Raila amekuwa na shida. Shida kwa inaletwa na hii government ambayo inaletwa na ama policemen ambao wanaona watu tunakuja alafu wanaanza kurusha tear gas. What has been affecting our people, but we are always peaceful. You say something about marching to State House. I promise you right now, hatuachili victory hivi, we will march, but peacefully. We are not destroying anything. We are not destroying any business for somebody, but we are marching to State House until we receive our victory.
Thank you. Uma, let me tell you, I was watching right from airport, right here in Kitgum, I'm in Kitgum, not Kampala. Right here in Kitgum, I was watching, right from the time he entered his vehicle, they marched to the field, I was watching. There were nothing like riot. Somebody was here the previous day before, when we were discussing here, he was saying they are going to improvise security, because such thing will bring even thugs, but there were nothing. You know, I understand what you say. Please, let us march there. It takes life for democracy to be reinstalled. Life must go, but God will, we pray. Let it not anybody's life should be taken. Because of facts and truth, we believe in what we do. We believe in what we even give others. That once a person has a clean heart and a clean hand, you will ever be on top. But if you are mixed up, you do the other thing in hidden, and then you come back like you are a good person, you will never run far. This is what we believe in. So please, we are all one. This is my advice to you. And as I posted something to Bernard about the East Africa fellow colleagues. We need to look into those ones, Bernard. Please, don't just look at those things and think they are just happening. These people are very, very confusing. So this is all I can say for now. Thank you, Mr. Uma. If people have that idea of marching to State House, thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me thank everyone who joined. Generally, we normally don't. I think we normally don't do the show during the day, and some people are really surprised what has happened today. We are not closing the show. It's already noon, almost 1 p.m. the Eastern African time, and you guys are still there. And I think some requested they normally don't get the opportunity at night because they are asleep. But again, we've tried at least to give you a brief of what normally happens at night. And moving forward, I think because of demand, it will force Mutembei TV to operate maybe daytime and nighttime. It will force us to be 24 hours. So before I proceed, I can see Victor has now configured. Victor, you can say something because we wanted to give some closing remarks, but I welcome you to speak. Victor, you can proceed if you can hear me. I think you are still struggling. It's okay. You'll just get it right. I think Godfrey, we because of demand, I foresee a situation whereby we are going to have two concurring shows, one at night and one during the day, because it seems that people want to learn more, people want to engage more, and the more we engage, the more we get better results, which is really encouraging. So I will just invite us to give our closing remarks so that we can allow those ones who want to rest to go and rest, the ones who want to enjoy their lunch. We've really tried being here. I think it's normally nice, and I enjoy being here. Like I was here from 10 p.m. at night, and I still feel that the conversation is still healthy. So let us just say some closing remarks, then we close the show. And those who will make it in the evening, we meet in the evening. Those who will not make it in the evening, we will have an exclusive daytime show. I think we should be running it from 7 a.m., separate from the one that is going to be run at night. And it will give opportunity for those who will not be able to participate. I know the ones who don't participate at night, what happens, they normally follow. They normally watch it later. But sometimes it's more interesting if you follow it live, because if you follow it live, you can be able to ask a question, and you can also be able to join and provide information where you think the information being given is insufficient or misleading. But when you follow it later, you only have to follow, and you have nothing that you can do about what is being said. I normally like it at the chat comment. When somebody is misleading, people normally shout at the comments, even though they are not right, but their shout at the comment will always make that person stop misleading. If you look at the comment section, it's normally fire. Toa huyo mtu wacha kudanganya, or such things. So it makes the show lively. That is why people like it when it is live than watching what happened later. So maybe Nancy, you'll give your closing remark. We go to Godfrey, Christopher, then we call it a day.
Okay. I heard someone say that Magoha had died out of shock. Even me, I don't know why I think he died out of shock. Yeah, he might have had underlying issues, but I think he died out of shock because, from being CS to nothing, maybe he didn't expect. He was so sure he was going to, Azimio was going to win, because, yeah, I think everyone was so sure, and of course, Azimio won. Is it Azimio? Yeah, they won. So, and then those, like you said, Ruto is trying to take us bottom up. Like if you look at those CS, look at Aisha Juma, what does she know? Look at Mokormen, what does he know? Look at Moses Korea, surely. Who does he know? Who else? Those are the only three I know, in fact. And everybody else there, what do they know? Dicky, Dicky, you know, then in this country is going to the dogs. So I don't know how they are going to do it really to get him out. But the way Baba was speaking, it's as if he's confident he has a way, and he shouldn't wait for 5 years because like someone was saying it will be all UDA. Everything will be UDA. When they choose that commissioner for IBC, of course they're going to put their people, There's nothing you can do about it. So the only way is revolution. That's the only way. By force, not police. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's true. If you look at the previous governments, in each and every government, there was that minister or that cabinet who usually stands out and does the right thing. In the Kibaki's ministry, we had John Michuki, and everyone will agree that Michuki was an excellent performer in that government. And wherever he was placed, like whichever ministry he was given and he touched, there were reforms. He reformed the transport sector. He reformed the environment sector. If we go to Uhuru's government, there was one Fred Matiang'i. Matiang'i reformed the ICT sector. He's the one who led to the digital migration that we currently see. The Huduma centers that we see, those ones were done by Matiang'i. When Matiang'i was moved to education, we saw what he did to education. He improved the quality of education, and that is the time when Magoha was heading NEC and Matiang'i was the CS education. That is the time that we started having quality A's, not just A's. Then, if you come to this Kenya Kwanza government, do we have anybody? Are you going to talk of people like Moses Korea? Are you going to talk of Ababu Namwamba, or the selfie CS, just busy taking selfies here and there? So we don't have anybody in that cabinet that can stand out and do something that people will have to say, even if this government was bad, this guy performed. When we were in NASA, we were not in agreement with the Jubilee government. But even back in our NASA, we would point out and say, Matiang'i is really doing great. And in every ministry that this man called Matiang'i was placed, he really performed. He really performed, and everyone agreed with him. So you people, we are winding up. We are closing the house. Why are you knocking? Godfrey, you can give your closing remarks.
I think, can we mute just for a minute? There's an echo. Okay, I agree with what Nancy has said. Very true that this government is heading nowhere. And I believe Baba has been in the field for a very long time and he knows what to do. He knows how to tackle this government. I'm very sure he will succeed in what he's running for. Ojue kuna kitu umesema kuhusu the government. The government has captured everything from the state. It has captured the courts. Right now there's nothing you can bring in the court alafu ipite kama ni kusaidia mwananchi. Hakuna kitu yote imeshashikwa, amecapture. Twende kama polisi pia. Sasa amecapture every corner. Amecapture na anaendelea kucapture hivyo. IBC pia amecapture, sasa wametoka wote, ateka watu wake. So the country is heading to a disaster. And that's the only way we can survive here is just to allow Raila to use his tactics. I believe him and I know him. He has been in this field for a very long time. Na anajua ni wapi akifinya, ni wapi Ruda atainua miguu. Let's give him time and you see what will happen. My closing remarks, okay, I see Alex is around. Let Alex first give us his option before I say my last remarks.
Okay, let me allow Ward County. He really told me he's there. So Ward County, Karibu.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I wanted, I've not been feeling well for the last 2 days, but it's okay. I mean, I always watch. Tembe is part and parcel of what I do after nimemaliza kazi. I feel bad for Kenyans that we have lost the son that was very progressive, Magoha. When he took over from Matiang'i, I think the education system was well planned. Apart from my friend who comes from my constituency, who is the Minister for Education, is very ineffective right now. We don't even know watoto wanatoka class 6 wanaenda wapi, and you can see the destabilization that is going on. So I want to give my tribute. I want to tell the family, pole sana. I know them not by proxy. I know them face to face. They've been my friends. And Magoha taught me in University of Nairobi. There's a class, a common unit that I took. He was a very eloquent and articulate lecturer. I feel bad that we have lost our hero so soon. So I want to pay my tribute to him. But the other thing is, I think Baba is not doing enough to what we want. Baba is going a little bit slow. These Kenyans are sick and tired. This revolution, we needed it like yesterday. Not today, like yesterday. I mean, yes, Baba is doing the right thing, as my friend has said, and I think it's going to succeed. But for some of us, I think we are a little bit impatient because the pain we are feeling. I'm one of the few privileged people who have an income that is more than $1 million a month. But the kind of people I get asking me for just petty money because of yani shida zimekuwa Kenya ni nyingi. We feel that if we allow this government to continue in the next few years, I'm telling you, we are going to feel the pain. Anybody who is here in Mutambei, just understand, if you allow it, we have seen it in Congo, we have seen it in Burundi, we have seen it after Magufuli died in Tanzania, we have seen it in Zimbabwe. It's no hide. A country like Libya that used to have free primary education and all throughout, free healthcare, just gasoline and kerosene was almost free in Libya. But you see why it is? It's because they allowed themselves to degenerate and think that they will become better without Gaddafi. If we allow Baba to go without solving the problem of Kenya, we are going to degenerate. So I'm urging you people as friends and as people that care about Kenyans. You know, Baba is also anaangalia temperature wa Kenya. Are they really promising that they can support me? Because you can't go out there without your support. What I feel is that Kenyans have a little bit of phobia. I think we should come out blazing and support Baba. When I saw him in the rally, I saw somebody who was energized. I listened to his speech. I listened to other leaders. These are people who have a case, and it's easy for us to take Ruto out. However, it is us to show the resolution. It is not Baba alone. It is us. Baba talking does not resonate well if we are not acting. So I think we should come out and make sure. Okay, the last thing is, as I look forward, I've been thinking about us having a strategic group whereby we can advise Baba. So anybody who has my number that wants to be in that strategic group, just index me so that we can see what we can do. If you don't, you can enter into the panel, and I'll give you my number so that we can have that strategic group. I already spoke to him. I spoke to Babu. I spoke to Gaucho. They said we want people who want to be strategic on how to move forward so that we can mobilize and people can be sensitized about the all issues of what is pending. It hasn't been actualized yet, but it's pending. And we need human capacity development that is going to help us. If you remember Jeff Koinage's interview with Miguna when he was deported, one of the things that they made him deport was his capacity of intellectualism. The people that he had mobilized, the people that were behind him, civil society and other people. And it made Uhuru and Ruto fear that it's actually going to
actualize. And that's what we want to capture right now. We just don't want to talk without capturing it. We want to make sure that whatever we are speaking is going to actualize itself into a reality. So those are my remarks. I'll give my finishing remarks after everybody gives again. Thank you very much.
Alex, thank you very much. I think maybe for the ones who don't have your contact, you can share it there at the private chat so that the ones who are in studio can be able to pick it. That is a real idea, because at the moment that we are in currently, we are the ones who can lead this movement. The people that we always think can lead it in the name of the MPs, they don't care. They only care about themselves and what is benefiting them, but they don't care about what benefits us. That's why sometimes if you see Baba currently is listening to people like the Ghetto President Gaucho, it tells you that he also realized that this men in suits and the men in nice dresses that we elect as MPs are no longer interested in the plight of the common wananchi. And sometimes I normally find it that, like Alex last week, when you were really mad about those ODM legislators and whoever who gives Ruto some heroic welcome, I sometimes find to see that it is true. You need to be mad about it. They are no longer interested on your common problem. They are only interested in what gets into their pocket. That is why they are easily bribed with some money so that they change the course and subvert the will of the people. So we, the people, are the ones who can form a strong movement. Somebody keeps on saying it here. I don't know if it is the county or who, about this lady Mwenyana Kitamba, who led to the revolution that happened in Sudan. Somebody keeps on saying it here. That lady was not a member of parliament. The lady was not known that much, but it took her that courage to ensure that the revolution was realized. So I think we were in the process of giving this final submission, and Godfrey, you are supposed to wind up as we are closing.
Yeah, I just agree with Alex what he's saying. You know, like our strategy that we had in 2017, just a short period, kila mtu akashajua nini inaendelea. But look at right now, the people you're having, even in Twitter. Twitter is very quiet. Kuna echo. I don't know if ni mic ya Nancy. Kuna echo. Leo, kuna echo.
Yes.
Yeah, what I was saying, Nikua, let's have this group, because I think Baba needs some people who can tell him what is on the ground. Most of the time Baba anajipata na wale watu ambao wanataka kuchukua advantage kwake, watu ambao wanataka kusonga karibu na yeye ndio apate kitu atoroke. But we need people who can fight for Raila, people who know what's exactly on the ground. Wanaweza kumwambia ukifanya hivi itafanyika, ukifanya hivi itafanyika. Look at what Nani used to do, what this guy here, huyu mwendazimu huyu anaitwanga nani, Miguna is a good person to mobilize people. I don't know, somebody like Miguna, even though we don't like him, but tukipata watu kama hao kwa upande wetu, people who can mobilize people, tunaweza enda mbali. But right now everyone is quiet. Sasa tunatoka watu kama kina Babu Wino ndio anajaribu kupigana, but most of the people are just quiet. Wale watu ambao wangetusaidia ndio ma governors ambao wameenda kufanya kazi na Uhuru na Ruto. People like Absoman wamepiga kelele hapa, sasa wameshapata, hata there's nothing they're talking. In fact, look at somebody like our senator, this Faki alikuwa hajulikani, but right now at least Faki anasema yuko usaidia Raila kuliko vile huyu Absoman anafanya. Absoman is in kwa Ruto kuliko vile Faki yuko, and yet Faki alikuwa hata mtu hajulikani. So we need people who can fight, people who can stand up for their rights, people who can say no is no and yes is yes. Our government fellas, watu kama kina Orengo, it was very bad, even though if the president is coming in your area, sawa unaweza enda kumkaribisha, but how do you legitimize his election? Mpaka anaonekana kwa kweli alishinda, anaanza kuambia huyo Ruto kwa andike watu wengi watafanya naye kazi. You know, we failed in some points, and those people they did wrong. I think this is the time, the same way Alex amesema, create the group. Let's have people who can talk and tell Raila the truth, what is on the ground, that we need to fight for our own, because I believe if we get people who have made up their mind that we need to take our victory back, we will take our victory back. But tukinyamaza, this government itatumaliza. Haiko sawa. Angalia sasa hii Gaucho anasema anafuatwa na the same government. Kwa sababu gani? Wanasema atamechochea wananchi for what he was doing. So this is the time we need to remove this government, because we have evidence we won election. And we have people who can go with us. Somebody like Raila. We don't have another person apart from Raila who can motivate us to go with it. Raila kitoka sasa akisema macha siasa basi ndio tumeisha, because I don't see somebody who can stand and do what Raila can do. So let us use this time well to reduce our victory back.
Thank you. Unless somebody is having something to say, I beg that we wind up and maybe meet next time. So for the viewers, the ones who are following, I can see there are those ones following from Kebei official site Facebook. There are some following us from Kebei TV, YouTube, and they sound Candid Talk, YouTube. We really appreciate you people joining. The ones who made us on talking here, we're not blessing ourselves, but we are glad that you people are enjoying and following the conversation and keeping that chat box busy and also sharing this information. So my call to you is that when you go back home or when you join that office of yours, kindly share that information that you get here. Let the people know that here we do say it is possible, we can do it, we can only do it when we join hands. And this show is always live. We are here on a daily basis. So those ones who are able to join at night can always join, I think, from 10 p.m. And you will be able to interact with Kenyans from different points in the world. Those who are having Kenyan as well at heart. The distance does not stop them, and this show brings them together. You'll be able to interact and get different ways on how to do things. You know, if we only concentrate on those people who are within Kenya to give solutions, sometimes their solutions might be limited to the knowledge or the experience they have in Kenya. But if you have people who've gone abroad and visited different countries and different cultures, they'll be able to give out some solutions based on some experience they've seen how people do it differently. So if you travel, you'll be able to really, if you don't travel, maybe you might think that your mom is the best cook, or what you cook at home is the best meal that ever happened. But when you travel, you come to realize that there are some other meals that also taste equally better. That is why I personally like this show, because it brings ideas, divergent ideas from different parts of the world, and that is what has always ensured that it's sustainable. And I do challenge that we should change from Mutembei TV or add the name Mutembei International TV. It is the Kenyan International TV that is bringing together all Kenyans as we discuss things of mutual concern. Like right now, some are going to take lunch and Black is going to sleep. Good night, Mr. Black or Mrs. Black. It's always nice having you, despite different opinion. And I like it. The more you keep it here, the more you keep on learning and learning. So, Mr. Juma, you are telling me there's a problem with your phone issues. So what I'll do, let me share my email there, so you'll get me your contact. Then after that, maybe I'll see how you will get in touch with Nancy, so that she can maybe explain further about the opportunities that you are asking. So sharing my email there, you can just meet me.
Yes, hello, Bernard. Bernard. Hello.
Somebody. So,
yes.
Before I end the show, you can copy that email. Email there. You can just copy the email there and reach me. Yes, I think with all that, we really managed to discuss for 3 good hours, and it looks like 30 minutes. So where if you sent your number in that email, that is fine. I'm going to get it. I'll get back to you. So guys, bye-bye. Let us meet.
Alex had something. Alex had something to say.
Alex, okay. Alex, you proceed. You close the show, please.
Kidega too had something to say.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to add on what Alex was saying. That is to have a strategized group of people who will give a way forward to Baba. Let me tell you something. Why, or a question, why is it Baba only? Is Baba only in Kenya? Why is it only him? That is a big question for all of us. We need to answer that question. If we get that answer, then we go to what Nani is saying, Alex. People should strategize. And let's not waste time. For us, we are outside here. We are watching. You still have a ground for playing around. Because if you can match and even all a rally, that means anything is possible for you people. Like I was here, my friend, you cannot hold a rally. You cannot even, it's so terrible here. So what I'm saying, don't waste time, please. I'm adding on what Alex is saying. It is time now. Let not Baba or passed on like Magoha has gone. Let people react now, I mean today, so that you remove these bad elements. Thank you.
I think that is final. Alex, do you want to say something before we close?
Yeah, I think Baba's energized us. From his speech, I listened. I am one individual who doesn't talk without listening to. I always say there's value in listening and there's civilization in listening. You listen to somebody's words and you capitalize. Whenever you want to know Baba is serious, don't just listen to him. Go to the script. Like the nation put all his speech in script. And you see the 7 things that he said the other day. Was it yesterday or the other day? I think I'm a little bit behind. What we are saying is this. And I want to urge all Kenyans of goodwill. It's not like we hate Ruto. But the kind of state capture that we are seeing is not going to take us anywhere. Anybody that's supporting Ruto today will know that, especially young people will know that we are going the Zimbabwean way. Just a few days ago, the dollar was going at least 103, 105. Today it's going 120. And the Somali people, the Wala Wala, are taking it for 134. When you look at the country that we were together, like Philippines, India was about $1 to 42. It's coming down. It has gone to 38. The money liquidation, some of us are economists. The money liquidation that is coming to Kenya, it's going to be worse than you people now understand. I come from the economics background, and I look at our country, and the indexes for everything, the GDP and everything, has just gone within 3 months. It just deteriorated in a way that any country that is progressive cannot allow itself. It usually takes 1 year for that kind of index to drop. But the way we have dropped in 3 months, you can know that in the next coming weeks or months, we are going to be carrying like 10,000 to supermarket just to buy unga peke yake na tunatoka huko. And we cannot allow such kind of things. Kenya has one of the best human capacity development in the world. I go here in Atlanta, many Kikuyus work there in CDC. Many Kisis work for FBIs. Many Kenyans work for government parastatals in the US and UK and all over the world, including China. I know a friend of mine we schooled together in Lenana, taught himself Mandriad, and he works in China as a spy. What I'm saying is that we have the brains, but we don't have the courage to stop what is going on. If you look at what Libya lost, Libya in a few seconds became a degenerated community. In a few seconds after Gaddafi went, Libya became nothing. Yet it was a country that was having free education, free healthcare, the lowest petrol in the world. And Gaddafi had put that country in a way that everybody enjoyed the freedom. He was a pseudo dictator, but he provided for his people. What we are saying is this: we are not disagreeing with Ruto, but we are saying that our country deserves better. And we are begging the people that are with him. I'm not coming here as a dictator or somebody who wants to force people to do things the way they want. But think about the future of our children. I'm telling you, if you allow what is going to continue like this, in the next few days, 1,000 will be nothing. You have to put 10,000 in your pocket just to buy unga peke yake. And the reason they are doing that to us is because we are progressive. They understand the way Kenyans can go. If Kenyans continue to go to Upper Hill, just take a trip. People who are in Kenya, just go to Upper Hill. Upper Hill is better than even San Francisco. The kind of apartments are in Upper Hill, Lavington, Karen. These people live better than the people who are in the US or anywhere in the world that is progressive. They fear that if they allow Kenya to continue the way it's going, Kenya is going to be a superpower in Africa. And Uhuru proved that. Uhuru was not accepted within the Kikuyu community, but anytime Uhuru spoke in international meetings, you could feel that this is a leader. His speeches and everything he spoke, apart from what he said in Israel, that corruption imemshinda kuchapa Kenya, that was the only time he messed up. But people look up to Kenya. I was in the hospital today and the doctor asked me, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "In Kenya." And he said, "Oh, man, your country." I went there for a visiting doctor in Bomet. There's a referral hospital there in Bomet, whereby is a missionary hospital. He said he stayed there for 3 months. He said, "Your people are very smart, especially people from Luo and Kisi community." And he gave me tons of information, what he thinks Kenya could achieve if only we stopped electing bad leaders. So what I'm saying and I'm urging, we are not here to beg people. We are here to educate people. If you don't want to be educated, we will educate you by force. And you will, in the end, you will tell us what you want. But I think what Baba is doing, Baba has been slow. Yes, we agree. But we want it to accelerate. However, his slow pace has achieved more. Because in 3 months, many people who are in that formation have started seeing that we are deteriorating. We have become delinquents as a country. So that's all I have to say, my friend. Maybe we are closing. That's all I have to say for now.
All right. Thank you for your opening and closing remarks. I can see Mary Awori is really concerned. Mary Awori, I can see you've also woken up and you are still around. Thank you so much for according me the name Mzalendo. But we do have another Mzalendo here. I don't want to behave in a similar way. Maybe I'll advance the great meanings of the word or the term Mzalendo. So you guys, it was fun and it was really happy having you in this show. And we hope to meet you tonight or in the morning, depending with where you are going to log in from. So enjoy your time, the ones who are having lunch, enjoy your lunch, the ones who are going to sleep, good night, and let us meet here again, same time, same place, as we encourage you people to air your issues and discuss candidly here at Mtembei TV. Karibuni tena na guaherini. Uriti. I don't know how it is said in Kisii. It's hard, I know it, but it is hard. In Luo, we say Uriti.